football fans, and welcome to yet another installment of Fin Out 8 Divisions in 8 Days. It is day 2 of NFC Week, and we are getting ready to break down a very competitive division, as today we're talking the NFC West. That's right, y'all. Today, we've got one of the most competitive divisions in the last decade that simply fell off last year. But this year, well, guess what? They may be competitive yet again, as a whole, that is. So with that said, y'all, we are continuing things on today. We have 4 teams down in the NFC and 12 to go. And division-wise, well, we have 5 divisions in the books. That's right, 20 teams down. And we have just 12 more teams to go. We're breaking down today a very interesting 49ers team. Today we will welcome newcomer Mr. Tom and talk about his 49ers and how tough this team can actually be. But how competitive will they be? They're definitely a tough team, but getting hurt last year. Lots of things going wrong with injuries, injuries. They had a pretty good offseason, pretty good draft. Can they get better this year? Well, let's hope they're better than the record from last year. After that, we'll be talking to Mr. Matt. It's Matt in LA, his Twitter handle. Fellow podcaster, of course, from the Super Bowl show. We had him on this past year, talking about his dominant Rams. Is this their year? We will talk about that coming up here. Also, we will be talking to another newcomer joining us today, Brian McLaughlin. Great to have him on today's show, talking Seattle Seahawks, how tough this team can be. They are a thorn in everyone's side of the NFC West, and I think they'll continue to be as long as Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson are there. So we'll talk about this team and how competitive they'll be in this division. And then, of course, we're talking somebody in our PR department today. She is, of course, diehard Cardinals fan, and I'm so freaking happy to have her on today's show. A long-time 3N listener and IE Sports Radio listener. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angela Winstead will be joining us to talk about her Arizona Cardinals. Be red, see red. Is there a reason to get excited this year, or are they just in the rebuilding phase? Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to 3 and Out, 8 Divisions in 8 Days, NFC Week, NFC West Edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Welcome, football fans. Well, here we go, y'all. We are off to day 6 of 8 Divisions in 8 Days, so you know what that means. We are getting close to the end here, finishing it off in NFC Week. We're only the second day in NFC Week, though, so we're still rocking and rolling. We have plenty of time, y'all. Plenty of time. So we are going to have ourselves some fun today, as we always do. Thank you so much to yesterday's guests. That was a great show, of course, covering the NFC North, the coldest division, or at least one of the coldest divisions in the NFL. Today, we're moving out west to talk about some teams that, we have the Super Bowl, well, the NFC, the defending NFC champions, and the team that was in the Super Bowl this past year, who would fall to the Patriots, but we're talking about those crazy Rams. Of course, the Niners. Last year, if Jimmy G didn't get hurt, how different of a story would that have been? Would they have really been as bad as they were? It just wasn't anywhere. They were terrible. They were absolutely terrible last year. But with the additions they made, they had a Deebo Samuel, y'all. That was my favorite player in the draft by far. He was an insane, wide receiver in the Senior Bowl. I loved what I saw there. Is this going to be the year the Niners could actually, make that push like they used to? And I'm not talking about a playoff push, guys. Well, of course, like a wild card. But is this that year that the Niners can actually, redeem themselves? Because they have been terrible. Like, seriously, last couple of years, they were competitive slightly, but there was that one year where they just lost everything, like maybe 3-4 years ago, and it was just rough. Ever since then, it's been kind of a rough road for these guys. But is that gonna be Is that going to continue to plague them? They've made some moves, but are they going to be competitive? We will find out. And the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, what in the world? They've had a tough go, but they've got the first round draft pick. They got Kyler Murray now, okay? Best player in the draft, and he is the man. I mean, they, unfortunately, when did away with Rosen, he's on over to Miami now. But I feel like right now, they got their new coach. They got Kyler Murray. Is this going to be a push in the right direction? They got Terrell Suggs, man. T-Sizzle. I never thought I'd see him in any jersey except for a Baltimore Ravens jersey, and well, here he is. So I'm just saying, this is a very interesting division. And of course, the Seahawks, as I mentioned, are they, as long as Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson are there, it's kind of like, I'm not trying to call them the Patriots of the West. They're not. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, in my opinion, greatest coach of all time and greatest quarterback of all time. I'm just saying, you got those two there, and yeah. But another great duo, head coach and quarterback duo with Russell Wilson and with Pete Carroll. I mean, they continue to have good defenses. They continue to look pretty dang decent, so they're always competitive. It's like no matter what, they can look not that great, but they're competitive. So it's like the team is a very tough team. And will we see this team, continue to be a thorn in the Rams side? Like I said, they're just a thorn in the side of the NFC West, and they're an awesome team. They just don't go away. They don't have those. I haven't seen them have in quite some time those years where they're just not in the conversation, or even if they're not totally in the conversation, they're still very competitive. So with that said, y'all, I'm looking forward to today's show. As I look forward to all the shows here on iSports Radio and all the shows here on 3 and Out. So with that said, y'all, we're going to take us a short break. When we get back, we'll be on the line with Mr. Tom, our first guest of the day. Once again, we'll be on the line with Mr. Tom, our first guest of the day, talking about his San Francisco 49ers. Once again, you were listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC week, day number 2, y'all. NFC West today, NFC West edition, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my 2 co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Two Wheels Wednesday is the place to come for all your motorcycle sports news every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio with myself, Matt White. All the latest news, rumours, race reviews and previews from World and British Superbikes and the big one, MotoGP. Two Wheels Wednesday, every Wednesday on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Hi, I'm Phil Robinson, running points, setting up Phil Jones for the finish. Join us every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, as we break down the week in basketball on the home for Real Talk Sports Radio, iesportsradio.com.
Drivers, start your engines. Auto racing takes many forms, from the close quarter contact of NASCAR
to the high-speed, high-risk atmosphere of IndyCar,
all the way to the pinnacle of technology with the Formula One World Championship.
No matter if you prefer the high banks of Daytona,
the concrete canyons of Long Beach,
or the flowing curves of the Nürburgring,
the international language of motorsports is simple. Go fast,
run hard,
and come home first.
So join us, myself, Darrell Kinsey Jr.,
Lolita Camello,
and Michael Ward,
on a world tour of all the best motorsports has to offer on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, only on your home for all. That is sports, i.e. Sports Radio.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it. Some great shows you can hear on IE's Radio here. And, we are on to our first guest of the afternoon. And it brings me great pleasure to bring this guy all the way from the East Coast. He is a man living on the East Coast, repping all the way from the West Coast. And it's great to have him here. He's a first-timer here on IE Sports Radio and on 3 and Out. So glad to have him. And seems to me he is a absolute diehard Niners fan. He is just, his Twitter handle, everything about this guy, his Twitter, like all the stuff on his Twitter, his Twitter profile, he's all about the Niners, and I love it. So really excited to bring him on here for the show for the first time to talk about his 49ers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Mr. Tom. How's it going, Tom? How you doing today?
Great. Doing great out here. How are you?
That's awesome, man. I'm doing my best. Thank you very much, and I'm really looking forward to another great show here. It's 8 divisions in 8 days. We're just chomping away at the NFL, of course, one team at a time. And as of right now, well, we're continuing it on here, and we are now on to your 49ers. So it is 49er time right now here on 3 and 8 divisions in 8 days. Let's get to it. So first things first, Mr. Tom, tell us all about how you became such a diehard 49ers fan.
Well, before I came out here to the East Coast, I grew up in Northern California, and my father was working in the Bay Area, and just became 49er fans actually a little bit before they started their the golden age, if you will, 1976. And ironically, the Raiders won the Super Bowl that year. But just since then, I was young, but it's just, and ever since then, it's just been part of my life. Yeah, so my blood.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. That's awesome, man. So you're originally from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well,
whoa.
Yeah, I thought it was the Air Force week, but that's where we ended up growing up after he retired.
Oh, well, that's awesome. Well, hey, thank him. I thank your father for his service, and that is awesome. And yeah, so alrighty. Well, with that said, man, you're repping your team, and you got to live out all those golden years. That's pretty awesome. You got to see your team dominate all those years.
Yeah, it was something. It was definitely something special.
Yeah, without a doubt. Definitely. And you guys, the last time though, it's crazy to think it didn't seem like it was that far ago, but the 90s they're just moving past from us. And this team they've certainly seen better days, and you've seen those better days in the past. But unfortunately, right now these Niners are they've had some great years, had some in here and there. Recent Super Bowl in 2012, pretty good year in 2011. Unfortunately, just not to be for you guys. And then ever since then, a couple of years ago, it seems like it all just fell apart, and it was something. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump on in to last season. So let's go ahead and get a little Google magic, y'all. A little Google magic here. And dial up the NFC West from last season. And, well, here we go, courtesy of NFL.com. The 49ers last year were anything but good. I mean, really, it was a tough go for you guys. 4-12 record. The only team from you guys was the Cardinals at 3-13. So just tough. And it's crazy because it was a totally different, it was like one end was heavy, one end was just light. I mean, it was just, you had the Rams, or actually heavy on both sides, really. The Rams, 3-13, the Seahawks, 12-6, 10-6, and then there was like this drop off. Big 6-game gap. The Niners, 4-12, and the Cardinals at 3-13. So, Mr. Tom, go ahead and talk about last season, man. Give us your thoughts on last season as a whole.
Yeah, it's promising in just before the season started during training camp, and then Jonathan McKinnon got hurt. I really believe that they were going to face a lot of their offense around him. But coming up backfield and the routes, putting him out wide, and they just struggled to start the season. They lost to the Vikings and just barely escaped with the game against the Lions. And with a win, but they just never seemed to be able to recover from that injury. I think that, and then of course Jimmy got hurt in the third game against the Chiefs, and it was just basically a slugfest the rest of the year. They even approach anything remotely decent out there, but. It's pretty happy.
Yeah, I just feel like last year you guys had every chance to, I don't know, I just feel like after Jimmy G went down, the season went down. I mean, it was just so tough for you guys. But acquiring such a good quarterback like Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, seriously, man, he worked under Belichick and Brady, in my opinion, the greatest coach and the greatest player of all time. And, I mean, he goes on over. Sorry, I know, that probably hit a nerve. I know, you are a Niner fan, and of course, Brady is compared now to, of course, the former, or at least in my opinion, or some people still consider Joe Montana the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. But however, I guess just my opinion. But I feel like right now you guys have a quarterback who is a young stud who's getting in there and that can make some things happen. I mean, seriously, this is a pretty good team you guys got. And I'm really, really, really excited to see what Jimmy G can do over there. I mean, so far, do you like the production of Jimmy G? Do you like how he leads this team?
I do. I like everything about him. I mean, there'll be people that are pulling out the stats, aren't that great. It's a small sample size, but I can understand, but I think a lot of it, again, when they won the 5 games in a row to end the previous season from last year, it was, it might have been a little bit of a goof, but, it's still, there was something there. There was something magical about it. And I think last year, when Jonathan McKinnon got hurt, I believe that even affected Jim, because I still believe that he was going to be like the focus of the offense, and it affected his stats in a way, but he still had some. There was a little bit of the magic still there, and then we didn't get to see it, obviously. But I really think he brings that something that the best has. It's just. You can't. You're born with it. You can't teach it or anything. He just has that it.
Yeah, and he does have it. Like, he is one heck of a player, and the guy just does his thing. I mean, so I really like his leadership. And okay, so let's go ahead and move on now to some free agency and kind of talk about what you thought. So this is right here. Let's see here. Let's find the link. Where is it at? We got to dig for it. But yeah, so I think right now you guys actually, it was an interesting interesting off season for you guys, and I feel like right now there was honestly a lot to be won, because really, and not that you couldn't go down further, which that's terrible. But, as of right now, with as terrible as you guys were last year, injuries and everything, I don't want to say you couldn't go down anymore, but going up is definitely, a much more bigger direction than going down. So this past year, you guys, like I said, it was a rough one. But let's take a look and see who was acquired and all the good stuff here. So, alrighty, here we go. We got something. So, alrighty. So, big thing is in free agency this year. You guys, let's take a look at this. This would be courtesy of, where are we at? Let's see. Well, it looks like these websites are not cooperating with me, so that's always fun, right? So, let's take a look here, and let's see if I find one that works. This is always fun when it just doesn't seem to work. But, alrighty, well, right now, for you guys, there we go. Finally got one. Alright, here we go. So, courtesy of ESPN.com. So, picking up this year, I think one of the big ones for you guys, Quan Alexander, total pickup. This guy, a former Buccaneer, but very tough linebacker who I feel is going to really, really help out. Also, Tevin Coleman, running back, you guys picked him up. I thought this was a pretty dang good pickup. And really, I thought that he's a tough guy overall. Seriously, he, you've seen him with the Falcons many times. He was in that 10 with Devontae Freeman, and man, those guys together were great, but unfortunately, just, for the Falcons, they couldn't hold on to him, and he goes on over there to join up with McKinnon and Breida, which is just a very, that's pretty potent right there. Those three guys together. Jimmy Ward. You will pick him. Well, actually, you guys will re-sign him, I think. Also, you guys, Jordan Matthews, wide receiver. He was from the Eagles, I believe. Jason Verrett. I am a Raider fan, and I know a thing or two about the Chargers, and this guy right here is an absolute great player, in my opinion. Very, very good corner. One of my favorite corners of this era, because the guy is just he's technically sound. I think this is a very good pickup for the Niners to add the secondary, and that's all it has here listed on ESPN.com. So, if you could, Mr. Tom, go ahead and elaborate on those picks. Talk about what you think those picks are going to be talk about those free agency pickups, and talk about what you think they're going to be doing this year, or even in the future for you guys. And if there's anybody I missed, go ahead and please throw them out there as well.
Well, that's good. I think you got them all. There might have been a couple other guys, but out of all of them, I'm wondering if Colbert being the best pickup, just simply because of the health issues that we've had with our running backs, and I don't believe he's ever had anything, like happen. But he might end up being the one pickup that has the biggest killing, I guess, this season. Another one, I don't know if it's not considered a free agent pickup, but D Ford in the trade with Kansas City.
That's right.
That's going to be huge, especially with the draft, because I'm sure we want to talk about that later. But I think Coleman is going to be huge. I don't know, there's a problem here. Trying to remember who the other guys were. Sorry.
Quite all right.
Completely on him. His name just stuck out. Another one was the tight end from Atlanta, Levine Toyolo.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He had it on over there too.
He could. I think as far as the inline blocking tight end, I think he might provide, especially with.
And he's a very big target for Jimmy G, man. That's a very, I totally spaced on that. That's a very good pickup for the Niners. And to add to that, you're right, I love the pickup of Coleman. He's probably going to be the guy. I think so.
Yeah, especially with Garrett Felix, he's probably going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season. So, he stands a good chance of making the initial 53 there for the season. And, heck of a blocker, and then the offense that we have, relies a lot on the line play, So he's essentially, an extra tackle at that size to take two big dude. So, and I'm just excited. These guys can bring.
Yeah, you and me both. I really feel like right now, Quan Alexander is a great pickup as well. Ever since you guys, hey, it's okay. He made the best decision for his life. He just wasn't, he was done with football, and that's I understood. But ever since you guys lost Patrick Willis, that linebacker core has just not been the same. It's been rough, Patrick Willis is, he was the heart and soul of that team, of that defense, and maybe not of the team, but of the defense. And this guy is just, not of the team. He's definitely a big part of it, but I feel like he is just a very good athlete who, like I said, he retired, and that's, cool. It's up, it's something that he just decided to do. I think he didn't want to get hurt, and he was just playing. He made his knee, and that was it, and he did great, and that was awesome. But I don't think his heart was in it. He didn't want to play football, and it's okay. He could have been, in my opinion, he could have been a Hall of Famer one day, but still, he just had, it's completely understood. Like I said, I just don't think his heart was in it, and he just didn't want to play any longer. And, he's looking out for his health. He didn't want to get brain damage, he didn't want to get hurt or anything, and he's just trying to do his thing and do what was best for him, and maybe he had a better opportunity. Well, I'm sure he had a better opportunity somewhere else, but the pickup of Quan Alexander, I thought that was a very good pickup, and I thought that, they played really, that Quan Alexander is just a great pickup there. And so there's lots of great players that I feel you guys picked up. But okay, so let's go ahead and move it on now onto the draft and talk some 49ers draft here. Once again, we are here with Mr. Tom talking about his 49ers, his San Francisco 49ers, talking right now about, we just finished up with free agency. Now we're going to roll on over here to the draft and get into your guys. I just feel like this was, let me take a look. You guys had quite the draft. I forgot if it was this year or last year, but you guys had a crazy stellar draft not too long ago. But let's go ahead and get on here to the ESPN once again. It's ESPN, to ESPN.com. I'm getting my sources from here. So we have here first round overall pick, Nick Bosa. This was, it's a given. We all kind of knew that this was inevitable. We knew that Nick Bosa was going to be, maybe possibly a Niner. Of course, going off the fact that we were sure Kyler Murray was going to be a Arizona Cardinal. And, well, there it is. Nick Bosa, second overall pick of the draft from Ohio State. You guys get a pretty dang good defensive lineman there. Second, also in the second round, the 36th in the second round, 36th overall pick, Deebo Samuel, wide receiver out of South Carolina. This was just a pickup to remember. He was my favorite guy in the draft. Total speedster, amazing hands. This guy's beating everybody deep. I thought this was a great pickup for the Niners. Then you guys pick up in the third round, the 6th, 7th overall pick, Jalen Hurd, wide receiver out of Baylor. Didn't know much about him, but another wide receiver, couldn't hurt. Then in the 4th round, we have Mitch Wisniewski, I believe. I don't want to butcher his name, but punter out of Utah. Then in the 5th round, you guys have D. Glenlaw, linebacker out of Arkansas. In the 6th round, you guys picked up Caden Smith, tight end out of Stanford. I go on how about I'm such a big Coach Shaw fan. He's a great coach, and well, that's a Coach Shaw coached guy right there. Justin Schooley, I believe, offensive tackle out of Vanderbilt. Who is a Vandy boy, a big guy there. And then in the 6th round, you didn't have a 7th round pick, but in the 6th round, you have Tim Harris, corner out of Virginia. So, you're trying to add depth to that secondary there. So, and who knows, he can maybe one day surprise us all and be a starter. Tom Brady did that in the 6th round as well. So, just saying. So, with that said, go ahead and talk about your draft, Mr. Tom, and talk about how you feel you guys did, and give us a grade as well, and talk about the either immediate impact or impact down the road that some of these guys may have.
Okay. Well, the first pick, obviously, Bosa it was crazy what he was even there. if the guy from the Cardinals had gotten into baseball, obviously Bosa would have been the number one overall pick. So the fact that he was even there is just, and we had the pick. It's like, dang. It was, just a foregone conclusion for it seemed like 3 months before the draft. Right after not 3 months, but right after the combine. It seemed like it was, ever since then, it was just going to happen. And it's a great fit. I mean, you got him on one side and then Bird on the other, and Buckner and Fonzo in the middle. Really a tough to stop. But Devo, I loved watching him at the Senior Bowl, and we were lucky enough to coach him. Shanahan was. So you have to see him every day in practice. He just destroyed the quarterbacks. He's constantly catching, and his run is like separates him. He's like the crazy good route runner. And Jalen Hurd, don't know a whole lot about him. I know he's gotten a couple of fights the other day in training camp. I guess he's blocking, he's pissing some guys off, which is great. Shanahan loves that. But he's going to be super raw. I mean, he's only played wide receiver. I don't even know if it was 2 years. He was a running back at Tennessee, and then he switched schools and switched to a receiver. But he's really raw, but we'll see what happens. I don't know. The guy that might surprise people is it's a linebacker there, Greenlaw. He's actually been starting with the team because one of the other guys, Alexander, obviously, is out, and Smith, Dre Greenlaw. He's been in the starting lineup in training camp. So he might sneak into the rotation there at the very least to start the season with that. Wisnowski is what's that?
Oh no, go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Wisnowski was the one that as soon as I saw they drafted a puncher, I knew they were going to come down hard on it. It really was tough, but the guy has apparently some crazy hang time, like 5 seconds plus. So he's only going to help the special teams rather than everyone get down and cover kicks. So, of course, the tight end there from Stanford, he's got a shot to make the team too because of, again, the injury to Selleck. So, I watched some of his highlight film from Stanford, and it just looks like he catches touchdowns. I don't know.
Oh, that's absolutely, man. You guys had a great draft.
I hope so. It's way too early to, to know yet. But, at least the first 2 picks, I think, will be starters. And that's really all you can ask for. Is you can get a couple of starters out of the draft. That's, everything else is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Just some depth,
I think
good football players,
I think so. You guys had a really good draft. What would you give that draft? What's a good grade you think you would give this draft? Or
I don't know. B, maybe? Solid B.
I think I gave you guys a solid B as well. The pick up of Deebo Samuel is just the guy. Like don't get me wrong, Bosa's great, but Deebo Samuel, man, he got hit in the second round. This guy, I love his hands. Jimmy G is going to enjoy connecting with this guy. He is just a great athlete. So I thought that was pretty good. So here we go. Let's shift on over to this season, Mr. Tom. Got a few moments left here in the segment. So let's shift it on over to talk about this year. This is your chance, Tom, to stick it to him. This is our ending segment here called Stick It To 'Em, where you get to talk about the rest of the division and kind of just talk about how you think they're going to do this year. So, hey, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks, and the Niners, you can give them all final records if you want to. Place them 2, 3, 4, 5 or 4, 3, 2, 1, however you want to do it. And then give your Niners a record, talk about how they're going to do as well. Of course, you don't have to give them a record because, I mean, hey, I know some people are superstitious and I totally understand that. But, hey, with that said, Tom, stick it to them.
All right. Well, I guess I should start with the Rams since they won the division last year. They're going to be tough to beat. They just play solid everywhere. They got probably the best defensive player in the league on their defensive line there. And can't say names. That would just be giving them props. But yeah, they're going to be hard to beat. It's going to be tough. They should probably win the division again, I would think. But the Seahawks, I don't know. It's crazy. Last year I thought they were going to fall off the map. They ended up being pretty darn good. And we were lucky enough to squeak one out there right at the end. First time we beat them in a long time. And of course, the good old Arizona Cardinals. You said the record was 3-13, and 2 of those wins were against us. So that's kind of disheartening when you think about that. But I don't know. Arizona's a funny team. They got the rookie quarterback there with the mad scientist coach. Who knows what they can do? They can have some crazy stuff going on. But I don't know. And as far as our record goes, I honestly would be happy if we could just get 8 wins. I think anything more than that would be great. But it's a tough division. We have a tough schedule, especially the last part of it. It's rough. But I don't know. I guess time will tell. We'll see how everything shakes out there. Injuries, can happen, and you never know. But if we can somehow stay healthy, I think we could put a pretty decent product out there.
Absolutely. I feel like you guys have a very good team. And, hey, great job. Once again, all thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here at IE Sports Radio, including the podcasters and the guests. And you guys are absolutely I feel like you guys are going in the right direction. With the draft you guys had, I'm really excited for the Niners this year. So, with that said, and the coming year. So, with that said, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tom, let's give him a round of applause, man. You can't hear Mr. Tom, but I just gave you the applause effect right there. So, with that said, Tom, where can all these diehard Niner fans find you?
My Twitter name is at the Laughing Goat. So that was a band idea that I had that never came to fruition, excuse me. And but I kept it anyway, just because I've already garnered so many followers and stuff. So kind of a silly name, but that's pretty much the only social media stuff I do is Twitter. So that's where I am. And if you're a Niner fan, you want to follow me, that'd be great.
Absolutely, and hey, I think so. I definitely think so. The Niner faithful out there, Niners Nation, Niners Empire. Make sure to give him a follow, man, at the Laughing Dirt. Great stuff as always. And hey, man, that's pretty. So you said a fan thought of that for you?
Okay.
You said your Twitter name, a fan thought of that for you. You said?
Oh no, it was a band. I had a band that actually fell apart. But that was going to be the Twitter account for the band.
Would you look at that? That is something. Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, I guess it turned into a Niner fan account, huh? For you, to your personal account. That's crazy. Well, hey, that's pretty crazy. That's awesome. What do you play?
Well, I played. I'm a drummer and a half guitarist. and I can play a little bass.
That's awesome, man. So
Yeah,
you said a hat guitarist?
hack. Yeah, I call myself a hack.
Oh, a hack. Okay, I said hat. Oh, you're too much, man. Well, hey, that's all good. That's pretty cool, man. Hey, man, do your thing. And any other bands in the making? No.
Not right now, no. I'm just doing my own thing right now, but, you never know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, keep jamming, man. That's awesome. So, all right, everybody. Well, hey, man, thanks again for being a part of today's show. It was great talking with you. And, hey, hopefully we can have you back on the show real soon, talk some more Niners football, maybe for a primetime face-off, or just talk some 49ers football, man. We appreciate you. I appreciate you for being on the show, man. Thanks again. Take care. Have a great week. God bless you and your family. We'll talk to you soon, Mr. Tom.
All right, man. Thank you.
Anytime, man. Thank you. Take care.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Alrighty, y'all. That was Mr. Tom once again showing some love. And that is a look at the 49ers for this year. So with that said, we are going to take ourselves a short break. And when we get back, I will play my exclusive interview that I recorded just last night with Mr. Matt about his Los Chargers. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, NFC Week right here, y'all. Day 2 of NFC Week, NFC West Edition. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out right here on IE Sports Radio, your directory for all that is sports. Right back after this.
Hey, what's up, sports fans? You're looking for a different type of sports talk show, something you haven't heard before? You got to check out the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday on 2 Live Stews Radio, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Sports talk at its finest. Always have great guests, playing some good hip-hop. You don't want to miss it. Make sure to tune in to the BS3 Sports Show every other Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me good. If you like sports, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like comedy, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. If you like a different opinion coming from a different angle, then you like the Wait a Minute Show. So join me Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. And of course, my man Lopan on the WaitAMinuteShow.com. Ain't that right, Lopan?
Good day, folks. Yours truly, Nico Green here, reminding you, tune in to the Neutral Zone Hockey Talk Radio Show, Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, proudly brought to you by IE Sports Radio. It's the Neutral Zone. All hockey, all the time. Take care. See you soon.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, once again, big shout out and thank you to Mr. Tom for repping his 49ers, starting us off with the 49ers, the San Francisco 49ers, for NFC West Day right here on IE Sports Radio. 8 divisions in 8 days. I've been saying that for so long. It was tongue-tied now. So, with that said, we are on, as I mentioned, to the NFC West. 1 team down, 3 to go as we continue our way through 8 divisions in 8 days right here on 3 and Out. And NFC Week is just rocking and rolling. And, well, now it's time to talk about a team that is last year just so close, or that was so close yet so far. And here they are this year with, I feel, just as good a chance as they had last year, maybe even better. And just talking to Mr. Matt, the next guest up here right now, about about the additions to his team, I brought up Eric Weddle and Clay Matthews, and I love how he said those are actually, they feel like upgrades. And honestly, that's awesome. If you can feel like that, if you can say that those are upgrades to a team that is really, like, amazingly good, like the Rams, yeah, that's saying something. So, hey, this year could definitely be their year, or let's just see. I mean, it could be one of these years because the Rams got the team to do it. So, with that said, let's go ahead and welcome in our guest. He was on the Super Bowl edition of I was going to say 8 divisions in 8 days. He was on the Super Bowl edition of 3 last year in season 5, and it was great to have him a part of the show, and just such a super crazy show that was. What a debate. That was a lot of fun with all of the Patriots fans and the Rams fans. But with that said, y'all, like I said, glad to have him here today on the show. And he will be, of course, talking about his Rams, and at the end of it, of course, he is a podcaster as well, and we'll get to his show and everything. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming diehard Rams fan, welcoming back to the show for, I believe, his second time, welcoming Mr. Matt. How's it going, man?
Doing well, Larry, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you're very welcome.
Excited, yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of fun on that 3-and-out version. Those Patriots fans were surprisingly very civil, and I respected them a lot, and the team a lot more after that. So I was glad to be on.
Well, thank you, and yeah, it's a fun. You know, this show is cool because it can go either way. You know, as John Felipe, our one of my colleagues here, says, you know, IE Sports Radio is basically by the fans for the fans, and that's exactly what we are, and we're happy about that. We pride ourselves on that. And, yeah, you know, we love to bring fans together, as the lovely Miss Meg Renee would say, one of my... Oh, actually, Miss Meg in the PR department of IE Sports Radio, and one of my fellow tweeters in our groups every Sunday to talk about football. You know, she says it. You know, football is family, and honestly, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, wouldn't you agree with that, Matt? I mean, at the end of the day, there's rivalries and all the stuff, and it does get pretty nasty. But at the end of the day, you know what? Football really is family.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many different opinions with politics that are differing of Rams fans on Rams Twitter that I follow, but we all can put those aside on Sunday, have a nice tailgate, barbecue, whatever it is, and just enjoy the weekend and watch the game and enjoy the game and embrace the game of football and our team together. It's beautiful. It's really it's just something about sports, right, that brings people together, and especially the sport of football that makes us here in America just crazy about it. We just need that adrenaline rush every Sunday. We need more football.
You know what? I couldn't agree more, and I'm just so glad that football is back. I mean, we are just a few days. This interview was actually recorded last night, so this interview was recorded on Monday evening, July 29th. Of course, the show today on Tuesday, July 30th, but speaking as of, like, literally today on Monday, I mean, we are just... we're 3 days away from the Hall of Fame game, and I'll tell you what, I'm the crazy person who starts counting down the days to the Hall of Fame game, like, right after the Super Bowl ends. I mean, do you feel like that?
I don't count them down, but definitely once it's that, like, a week within, I'm always like, all right, the football game's on, I'm probably not going to watch, but then I always find myself tuning in every, you know, Thursday. What is it, like the first Thursday of August, it feels like every year, right? And, yeah, just tuning in, watching a few drives, maybe, because, you know, it's a lot of new guys coming in, and it may not be my team, so I'm not going to sit down and watch preseason games. Let's be real. But I will watch a few, like, especially those first few drives, that first quarter. It's always fun. And then I remember a few years ago, one of the games, I believe it was the Titans. I forget who they were playing, but they pulled a fake punt. It was exciting, you know, just seeing that scheming and that they're already starting that type of stuff early on in the preseason, trying stuff out. It's really a good time to just enjoy the game and the fruits and labor of these young men who are trying to make a squad.
Absolutely, and that's why I love the preseason so much. I love watching preseason games. I may not watch them all, but I do my best to catch as many as I can because, I mean, of course, the times and everything, I guess, crazy. Like, not crazy, but sometimes I guess, conflict with my schedule and the whole bit. And then I know they show all of them on NFL Network, and I'll catch those when I can, but it's like, I love it. You're right. It's just so cool when you see these young men out there just fighting hard to try and make one of these 53-man rosters or to at least make a practice squad. And it's just so cool. Like I love watching that, and it's like its very own thing. I really like the preseason a lot, and I'm really excited for it. Of course, my Raiders this year are on Hard Knocks, so I'm really excited for that. So, but with that said, Mr. Matt, go ahead and tell everybody, man. We did this back on the Super Bowl edition, but. Of course, I mean, like I said, I don't know if people listen to that show. I don't know how many people were listening to that show that are listening now. So go ahead and give us a refresher, man. How did you become such a diehard Rams fan?
Yeah, it started off, and it was bred within my family, of course. My grandfather, he lived here in Southern California in L.A., in Compton, actually, in the early 60s, late 50s. That's when he grew up, went to high school, and he ended up being here, living up, or just growing up when the Dodgers moved here, when the Lakers moved here, and as well as the Rams. So those are his teams, and it just kind of was bred through the family generation to generation. And when I was 7 years old, in 1999, the Super Bowl that year, 2000, in Atlanta, Georgia Dome, it was the Rams against the Tennessee Titans, Jeff Fisher, right? That Jeff Fisher-led team with freaking Steve McNair, rest his soul. He was amazing. Right. And, oh, man, I'll be honest, I wasn't watching that game much. I was 7 years old. I was just enjoying my time. And then after, we partied because the Rams won, enjoyed some cake, and then after that, I really just, sat down and just learned. And I was like, wow, this is really fun. I saw that my family was really happy about it. And I was like, I think I've learned about this. And, oh, man, it didn't stop from there. The fandom was born, the diehard. I couldn't get enough. Every Sunday I was watching football. My dad, who was just a Rams fan, and he was like, I only watch Rams games. I was up every morning watching those Fox pregame and the CBS pregame morning shows, as well as the ESPN Sunday night, or Sunday NFL Countdown. Oh, man, I just loved the sport of football, and yeah, the Rams were that first team that made an impression for me just because of my family. So I was blessed with this great team for the first years of my life, and I stuck with them for the last decade. That they were just horrible, right? And it paid off. They're back in L.A. My dad and my grandfather, who I said were L.A. Rams fans before they went to St. Louis, stayed with the team. So they're back in L.A. It's great to be here, living in L.A. with the team, and they're successful once again with as you said. It seems like if they don't get back to the Super Bowl this year, they have a good window as long as they have Sean McVay and Jared Goff and solid offensive line play. I mean, as we've kind of seen in the NFL, what leads to success is having a good head coach, a good quarterback, and an offensive line to protect that quarterback, and then have guys on the other side of the ball be able to get sacks against the opposing team's quarterback. So, yeah, this Rams team, it's not that mentality, I feel, of win now. They have a window open, and there's a lot of opportunity for this team for years to come.
Absolutely, and I completely agree. And yes, once again, rest in peace, rest in everlasting peace to the great Steve Aaron McNair. And what a Super Bowl game it was! I just saw that game on NFL Network, they had a replay of it, and seeing that how they were a couple of yards away from actually winning that game, the Titans. But yeah, you guys pulled it off and won it, and just what a incredible game, and just. That's just such a cool story, man. So congratulations. That's cool, man. You follow your family, your grandfather. That is so awesome. And hey, man, I know that your team you're definitely loved in the community, I'm sure, because anytime you get somebody that's just the old school fans or whatnot, and it's you're a generation fan. I don't know. I just feel like that just goes. I mean, not trying to say that if you're a brand new fan or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that because we were all a brand new fan. Somewhere now, all bandwagoner, I guess you can say it sometime or then. But hey, if we stick with our team, that means we're faithful, no matter what. So. But that's so cool, man. So with that said, all right, well, there you go, y'all. That right there is how Mr. Matt became a diehard Rams fan. So let's go ahead and get on into his team last season. Google Magic, everybody. Go ahead and Google the NFC standings, NFC West standings from last year. So let's go ahead and Google that. And then NFL.com. So I'm getting my sources here from NFL.com. And let's go and take a look at where the Rams measured up last year, where they were last year. So here we go. Courtesy of NFL.com, we have the NFC West. So the Rams finished at 13-3, just dominating last year. The Seahawks at 10-6, the San Francisco 49ers at 4-12, and the Arizona Cardinals at 3-13. So here we go, man. You guys absolutely just dominated the division. You guys just looked really strong. You guys looked tough, and you finished up at 13-3, went through the playoffs, did your thing, got to the Super Bowl, and unfortunately for you guys, you would come up short versus a team who has just been a dynasty the last 2.5 decades, the New England Patriots. So first things first, man, let's go ahead and walk all the way through last season. And tell me all your thoughts and everything on last season, and then take it all the way in the Super Bowl if you would like to, and talk about that. And maybe you want to pass on that, that's completely fine. But whatever you want to say about last season, hey man, go ahead and I guess get those final thoughts of last season, if you will, out, and then we'll move on to this season.
No, yeah, last season the Rams, they tore the league a new one, man. They came out after going 11-5 the year before, losing in wild card divisional round of the playoffs against the Atlanta Falcons in a pretty poor showing with 2 memorable fumbles by Farrell Cooper. That was just heartbreaking. So to see them come back, and they went on, what was it, an 8-game winning streak before playing New Orleans at New Orleans, and ended up losing that game. I have some little bit of tips about that game, but it's okay, because there's plenty of tips to talk about in the NFC Championship game that the Rams ended up winning, all thanks to the refs. Sure, right, I can accept that, but the Rams made it to the Super Bowl, by all means, and they earned it, all right? They earned that. They deserve to be there just as much as any other team, and, I mean, after the performance throughout the entire season, everyone expected them, to put up 30 points. Everyone wanted to see something similar to Super Bowl 52, where the Eagles and Patriots were essentially it was just a shootout. They were scoring, and it didn't seem like either team was going to be stopped. And unfortunately for everyone who is a casual fan of the game, when it came down to the Super Bowl 53 this year, the Rams and the Patriots did not deliver on the offensive side, right? And I have a bone to pick with that, because everyone talks about...
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. No, I will fight you. Go ahead. I
just feel like all these people talking about on Twitter and just giving the Rams crap about only being able to score 3 points in the NFL, they just don't really understand the gravity of the situation they were in. They can talk about, the Rams only scored 3 points in a game, whatever, sure, after being such a high-powered offense, and then kind of just laying an egg, right? They just laid an egg offensively, but still, it was a defensive battle. They played that team, the Patriots, as well as they could with what just the situation around them, how Jared Goff's experience and Sean McVay's experience as well. That's just the outcome they were made to have, I feel. It's a growing moment. Yeah, they only scored 3 points, but if you really look at it, those 3 points that they scored were pretty incredible within that themselves, let alone the Patriots being able to score 13 points, because, I mean, that last touchdown that they won, or that they ended up getting, it just, I mean, really was just the drive that ended the game. They didn't need to score that touchdown, but they ended up doing it, and I mean, it really didn't make a difference at the end of the game, because we kind of saw that the Patriots definitely were the more solid team. They were moving the ball with Edelman and Brady, and that was it. The Rams couldn't stop it. They couldn't. Edelman, didn't he end up winning the MVP? He had over 100 yards receiving. Dash. It was a learning experience, and I just feel like they get a bad rap on social media for only scoring 3 points. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. They scored 3 points against a great defensive mastermind in Bill Belichick at the greatest moment of sports and at the greatest time, right? The Super Bowl, the biggest game, what are you going to do? And the defenses came to play.
They did. And for anybody who said that was boring, like, seriously, I get so mad at that because I'm like, then you just don't like football. You're a person that likes that flashy crap. Go watch basketball. You want high scores? Go watch basketball. Like, I am all for the low scores. I love defense, of course. I play defense. But I love defense. I love a low-scoring dogfight. I absolutely cannot stand touchdowns. The only way I like touchdowns is if a defense scores them. Or if it's my team. Or it's my Raiders. But I guess absolutely, I love it, but anyway, people will like what they like, and it's okay. I understand some people. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, it was boring if you don't like defense, but I thought it was a great defensive battle, and you're right. And yeah, man, they played an incredibly tough team in the Patriots. You're playing the greatest quarterback of all time, in my opinion, in Tom Brady. You're playing the greatest coach of all time, in my opinion, in Coach Bill Belichick. Right. So you're right, man. So let's go ahead and jump on over to some free agency, because this is what I just can't wait to get into, man. Clay Matthews goes home. Did you know that Clay Matthews played in that stadium before? Did you know that?
Yes. USC alum. He's a Southern Cali boy.
That's right. Fight on USC, of course. I'm a diehard SC fan, and Clay Matthews used to play in that same stadium back in the day at SC, so when he was playing at USC, so just what a awesome thing. He's headed back home, playing now. I mean, I am so excited for him to head on over to LA and to play for you guys. I mean, he's been, he was great for the Packers for many years, but now he's heading on over to LA to do his thing. Dante Fowler, outside linebacker, another great pickup who I thought this was a really nice pickup, I thought, as well. Also, Eric Weddle, what in the world? You guys got... How is it even possible? It's like, what cheat code are you using? Like, I mean, this is like a real life Madden game. Like, this is seriously like Madden. Like, I think, like honestly, like, I don't play Madden anymore, like, hardly ever. But it's like, seriously, when I was growing up playing it in high school and in college, this is like one of those teams that you're like literally like, when you're putting them together, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get this play in free agency. It literally looks like a team that you put together on Madden. Like, this seriously looks like that. Like, I'm gonna get Eric Weddle, I'm gonna get Clay Matthews, I'm gonna go freaking, who cares? I'm gonna go get freaking, I'll get whoever I want to. I'll go get freaking, gosh dang it, Antonio Brown, and I'm gonna go get my dang quarterback. I'm gonna go get, freaking Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like seriously, man. Like, this is, I know it's not that crazy, but seriously, like, this is crazy free agency. These guys. Eric Weddle, great pickup by the Los Angeles Rams, and those are the only ones that are listed here on ESPN.com. If there are any more, please go ahead and name them. But I mean, regardless, what did you think about free agency for the Rams this year, Mr. Matt? And then go ahead and talk about your, what you think the impact they're going to have on your team. And if I missed any, please go ahead and note any free agency I may have missed.
No, yeah, the two that really make an impact and that are going to see time on the field, especially, are the additions of Clay Matthews and Eric Weddle. Of course, yeah, the retention of Dante Fowler was surprising, and it's good to see because this linebacking core has been the weakest unit the past 2 years, I feel. The corners position has been really good. Before, even 2 years ago, when Tremaine Johnson was on the team before he left to New York, he was a solid lockdown corner who didn't take crap from no one. And we've had Nickel Roby-Coleman for the past couple of years guarding that slot position, who's really come into his just come into himself, and it seems like he's really comfortable in his role now in this Wade defense. But yeah, going back to the guys they added this year with Clay Matthews, he's definitely up there in age, but he brings a veteran presence, this IQ and level of intensity that you haven't really seen from that linebacking position. Like, when you look at captains on a defense, it's usually coming from that linebacking position. And we had, I believe it was Corey Littleton was our guy, but he's a young kid. He really was new. That after sitting on the practice squad for the past 2 years, you could see the athletic ability the kid has and why he was. They were kind of just building his technique up on the practice squad until they finally got to see him this year, and he outperformed, I feel, expectations. But Clay Matthews is going to be helping him extend his game even more. Guys like that like Samson Ebukam, he's going to be lifted because of Clay Matthews. And Clay Matthews is going to be that situational guy. I feel he'll probably be playing most. I feel be at maybe 60% of the snaps, if not more. But I feel like he's going to be that situational type of back. I mean, we know he's going to be going after the quarterback, right? In the outside linebacker position. I've heard some fans say they would love to see him go inside. But, yeah, it seems like I feel like he's just going to stick on the outside position.
I think so as well. And this is just such a great... And, okay, so you guys re-signed Fowler, right?
Right. Yeah,
okay.
We traded for him just before the deadline.
Okay, cool. Okay, I didn't know. I'm sorry. So much to keep up with. But, okay, so let's go ahead and jump on into your guys' draft. You didn't have a first-round pick, but this is also courtesy of ESPN.com, where I'm getting my sources from here. But in the second round, with the 61st overall pick, you guys pick up Taylor Rapp, defensive back out of Washington. I'm a Pac-12 guy. I know Washington this year had a potent team. Pretty good defense. This guy right here is one of the reasons why, for sure. Round 3. With the 70th overall pick, Darrell Henderson, running back out of Memphis. I guess I've always just say that their jerseys are awesome. I love their jerseys, but I love it. I'm looking at it right now too, like with the silver helmet and the they look like Bengals but blue and silver. Like they're super. They look cool. But anyway, this guy, running back out of Memphis. Don't know much about him. But we have a couple here, a couple more. Round 3. With the 79th overall pick, David Long, another corner, so corner out of Michigan. So as you can see here, you guys were on a DB hunt, to help out the secondary. You guess, I'd mentioned that. Also in round 3 with the 97th overall pick, Bobby Evans, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. And it's just, you can see, I mean, of course, doing 8 divisions in 8 days, talking about the draft to all these different people and all these, for all these different teams. It's crazy. Seeing this entire offensive line for Oklahoma, I mean, they were so good. I mean, this line blocked for Kyler Murray. This is a very special offensive line. You can see with for anybody who's been listening to 8 Divisions in 8 Days, you can see, the quality in this offensive line because they all got picked up. I mean, third round, even I saw one for the 4th. I forgot where they all went, but some first rounders, I think a first round, a second round, and this is just a good, strong offensive line. And well, you guys got one of them too. You guys got one of the big boys from the offensive line for Oklahoma. So next up, the 4th round, the 134th overall pick, Greg Gaines, defensive lineman out of Washington. So yet another big boy, of course, coming out of the Pac-12. Like I said, potent defense, and that these two you picked up are, a reason why they're such a good defense. So in the 5th round, with the 169th overall pick, you have David Edwards. We guys selected David Edwards, offensive tackle out of Wisconsin. And then in the 7th round, you guys had a couple picks here. With the 243rd overall pick, Nick Scott, safety out of Penn State. And with the 251st pick, you guys selected Dakota Allen, linebacker out of Texas Tech. So go ahead and give you guys a grade and talk about, or if you'd like to, and kind of talk about the draft and what you think these players, the roles they will play either immediately or in the coming future.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to give them a grade, I feel like I'm a little biased. But obviously, because I'm a Rams fan, and these guys that they drafted, I did some good research on a handful of them. And I feel really happy with the guys they came away with. So I would say at least a B to B+. But obviously, we really can't tell and won't know until a couple of years down the road, right? Mm-hmm. So starting off with their first pick, which they didn't take until the 61st pick overall, right? Taylor Rapp, as you were stating, from Washington, he is a stud. And along with his teammate Greg Gaines, oh man, these guys, they just excited me. All the research I did on both of these guys, they're high IQ. They are great. They were great at their technique. Taylor Rapp, he's going to come in and probably, I think he's going to be playing definitely behind Eric Weddle, and he's got a lot of opportunity to learn from one of the highest, smartest guys on a defensive position at the safety position with that. And then moving on to Darrell Henderson, I mean, I know he was running like a running back duo with the other Memphis running back. I don't recall his name, but I know he was taken a few picks later by Dallas. And, I mean, it was a two-headed beast, and Darrell Henderson was the main guy. He led the nation with 23 128 all-purpose yards, 25 total touchdowns. I mean, he definitely feels like he's going to complement whatever the plan is for in the backfield with Todd Gurley very well. And then, we talk about David Long. I'm surprised this guy was on the board almost 80 picks into the draft. He was one of the best cover. I think he was the best cover corner in 2017 in college football. And then last year, he obviously didn't get the ball thrown his way that much. I believe it was a crazy stat. Like, over the past 3 years that he played, he allowed only 18 catches or something like that. It's just ridiculous. This kid is a lockdown corner, and he's going to be playing behind Aqib Talib, Marcus Peters, and the slot god himself, Mikael Roby-Coleman. He'll teach people how to put them on Waffle House frying pan, if you know what I mean. But then you talked about Bobby Evans, and from this Oklahoma offensive line. He excites me. I'm not too sure about where he fits in. He definitely should be making this 53-man roster, but I feel like he can definitely be someone who fills in for a role like Andrew Whitworth if he develops the right way. And as you stated, he was blocking for Kyler Murray. He was blocking for Baker Mayfield. So he's blocked for NFL ready quarterbacks. He knows the game. And Oklahoma, these guys, the competition they play ain't no joke, right? In the Big 12, right? So he's been playing top talent his entire career. And then I kind of talked a little about Greg Gaines on the defensive line, Taylor Rapp's partner. He excites me. I feel like he can definitely come in as a situational player as well. But we have a lot to see what he has to offer. I went to training camp yesterday and sat next to the defensive line positioning group and saw them run drills. And Greg, he was getting a lot of talking to about technique on the drills. They had to, re-instruct him a couple of times, so you can tell he's still learning, obviously. I mean, and he's getting good experience, though, being able to face up against, right across Aaron Donald or Michael Brockers, even the guys who've been there who haven't got much playing time, like Sebastian Joseph Day and Tenzel Smart. So he's getting some good experience, as well as this undrafted rookie, Boogie Roberts. Those two guys, you could just tell. They looked like kids amongst men, and they were still learning. So I was excited about this pick, and after doing the research, but after watching him on the field yesterday, you can tell he's still got a ways to go. So that's someone I'm going to be watching closely in preseason and seeing how he performs. But then we continue with a Washington offensive tackle, the Rams. What I saw with this draft is Sean McVay and Les Snead, the Rams GM, they're really finally giving this team an identity. In addition with the free agency additions with Clay Matthews and Eric Weddle, and the undrafted free agents. They picked a lot of high IQ, very smart people from like Dartmouth or just like these Ivy League schools even on the undrafted free agent list. So you can tell Sean McVay wants smart guys on his team, and it's just nice to see. Like when you were watching them with the Rams with Jeff Fisher in St. Louis, or Steve Spagnuolo before him, there didn't seem to be a true identity behind the team in the locker room, and Sean McVay has helped offer that. So overall, they rounded it out with 2 7th-round picks, Nick Scott, that safety from Penn State, who will be sitting behind Taylor Rapp, and then surprise pick for me, that Dakota Allen, linebacker from Texas Tech. He was on Last Chance U, if you remember, if you've seen. He attended East Mississippi Community College, but he's going to be there was a lot of talk about him making a big impact during the season on special teams. Like, that's what his aim was. He talked to Coach Bones, or what's his? I just know his name, Jim Fassel, right? Our special teams coach. He wanted to draft him, and he told him that he wanted him for special teams specifically for how well he did and performed in college at Texas Tech. So, yeah, this draft it was really exciting. They got a whole year behind them of scouting with Sean McVay and his staff. So it seemed like they got a really good unit, and this unit could mean success sustained for an additional 2 to 3, 4 years, or it could mean this 2 to 4 year window that they have right now is just that. So it'll be interesting to see how next year's draft goes, right, and how they continue to build.
Absolutely. I think I gave it a B. I forgot what the grade I gave, but I'm looking at it right now, I give it a B. I love the pickups here. He has happened at the secondary. Of course, the big man out of Oklahoma. I really like it. So, with that said, real quick question, man. I had asked the Chiefs fan this last week, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. One of the craziest ever, the highest scoring Monday Night Football game ever played. Of course, I'm talking about craziest game ever. Why did I like this game, even though it was really high scoring? Because defense scored in this as well. Ibaka, member, scored one, and I forgot who else scored. I think the other who else is the other defensive end scored one too.
Benson and Bukum picked one up for the Rams.
Ibukum, and then I forgot who else. Was it Donald? Another defensive lineman scored, I think, or maybe he did twice. I forgot.
I think it was Ibukum twice, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it was incredible. That guy is amazing. I mean, they made a name for himself that night if he didn't already. But real quick question, man. You guys would win that one. What was it, 54-51 final score?
Yes, that's correct.
Real quick, man. How was that being like a fan? Because I was enjoying it, but I know that if it was my Raiders in that game, I would be a freaking mess. Talk about how it was in that game, and just talk about like your thoughts and all that craziness, and like at the end of it when you guys finally won, talk about that real fast, man.
Yeah, man, I was actually at the game at the Coliseum. I was so happy they ended up canceling the game in Mexico City and brought it to the Coliseum.
That's right.
So I was able to enjoy that masterpiece, right? Who knows what it would have been if it was still played in Aztec Stadium in Mexico City. Anyways, it was amazing. I remember going into halftime. It was 23-22. I believe the Rams had just missed, and Greg Zuerlein just missed an extra point going into halftime. And I didn't think they were going to keep scoring I didn't think they were even going to match what they put up in that first half, let alone put up, 30 points apiece almost again. And, so, right there, at halftime, it felt like it was a regular game. Obviously these offenses were filling themselves. Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's just crazy, man. He's such a great athlete. I don't understand how Tavon Austin couldn't find a role for himself. And when a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's just as fast, actually probably faster and quicker, but just as small and the same type of style guy. Like, I don't know how Tavon Austin didn't succeed in this league like this guy has. And Patrick Mahomes, and that kid, he is something else. Just the throws he makes. I mean, I saw him get, a 97 or 96 overall on Madden. I feel like that's a little too high. But, I mean, I just want to see what the kid can bring. I want to see him bring consistency to the league. If he can keep that up what he did last year, which no one can. No one's thrown for 50-plus touchdowns. Right? He threw for over 50 touchdowns last year, right? Am I wrong? But I knew he threw for the most.
He was somewhere around that. I remember hearing the commentators saying that he had like Hines offered him this deal that if he threw over 57 touchdowns, he would get Hines ketchup for life, because apparently he loves ketchup. And I think he didn't get there, but I think that would have been the coolest thing. Like, if it would have been like the countdown to ketchup or something. Like, all right, he's at touchdown 56. He needs just one more for Hines for life. Like, that would have been so cool. But he definitely. I'm pretty sure he didn't throw 57, but he definitely threw for a lot.
Threw 50. Yeah, he threw for, I'm looking at him right now, he threw for 50 touchdowns total. And, yeah, that game definitely helped out his damn stat line. But, yeah, if he can, the only other quarterback to throw 50 touchdowns, I believe, is Tom Brady when he had Randy Moss, right? So, he's never been able to reach that point again. And no one else has. So, I feel like, it's his first year. No one really had tape on the guy. But, his mobility, he's like Russell Wilson, but 10 inches taller, right? So he can see the field that much better. He's got that much more strength just because he's got that much more body mass. And he can chuck the ball, as he says, 82 yards? Oh, my God. The guy's a beast. But, I was just going insane. I didn't know I was watching a football game when I was there, seeing all those touchdowns scored. When Gerald Everett caught, a 51-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff, and he caught it near the sideline, had a tiptoe in. Oh, I was losing my mind. I didn't understand what was going on, man. It was such a crazy and just awesome experience to be able to be at the stadium for that. That's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
That's awesome, man. I just wanted to. I had to ask our Chiefs fan about that last week, and I guess I had to ask you now, of course. But what a game! So we're getting to the end of the segment, man. But this is the fun part. Well, it's all fun, but this is one of the fun segments here. Of course, is Stick It to 'em. I told you a little about it before we jumped on air and started recording. But this is your chance to stick it to the NFC West, which I think the Rams did a pretty good job of that last season, and they might just do it again this year. But and there's no telling how many years they'll do it with the team they got going on right now, and great coaching, Sean McVay, and great players, and great everything. Everything is going well for the Rams right now. But let's go ahead and talk about the NFC West right now. And go ahead, tell us what you think the rest of the division is going to do this year. If you want to go ahead and give them records, or just place them 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 3, 2, 1. Give throw your Rams in there. Give them a final record if you would like to. If not, give them. I know some people are superstitious, and I understand that. But hey, man, have some fun. Remember, everybody out there, listeners, all thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here at IA Sports Radio, including the guests and the podcasters themselves. So, with that said, Mr. Matt, stick it to him.
All right. Yeah, looking at the Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals this year, and just the way they're built, it kind of looks like the way they ended the season in terms of seeding 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like it's going to be similar with the Rams up top, Seahawks, 49ers, and Cardinals. That being said, because the Cardinals going to be on the bottom, Kyler Murray is going to be learning a new offense. I mean, I would say maybe they could win at most 7 games this year with that new kid. Who knows? Maybe he excites some people and wins 8 or 9. But I just think his first year in the NFL is going to be rough because it's also his coach's first year, and they're coming off of the last year, which was a new coaching staff as well. I just don't see the Cardinals rebounding all too well after a 3-13 season last year. And going forward with the 49ers, Jimmy Graps is back. Oh, the pretty boy himself. I think he's going to do well for this team, but I don't think they're going to be anything more than an 8-8, maybe 9-7 team at best. And that's because they have a lot of work to do within this division. I'm not too well versed on who each of these teams are playing for their season schedule, like the Rams, but I just feel like the competition within itself, the Cardinals and Niners will probably split that series. The Seahawks are a really good team, and I wouldn't be surprised if they swept the Niners as well as the Rams. But the Rams have also kind of just, when they played the Niners at the end of the year, they just tossed that one to the side, don't play any starters, and let the Niners win. But, yeah, we'll see what goes on this year. I kind of don't like that, but that's okay. That's for another day. That's another discussion. And, again, Seahawks, I feel like they're the most stable franchise in the NFC West other than the Rams with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. It's always been these last, 3 or 4 years it feels, it's been questions around the offensive line. They made an addition, I believe, a year and a half ago with offensive tackle from Houston, whose name I cannot remember at the moment, but I know they made that addition from the Texans, and that kind of changed things, and they also brought in an interesting talent who I don't know how to assess, in DK Metcalf from the draft, but he's exciting nonetheless, and it feels like he has something to offer, so hopefully Russell Wilson can find ways to get that guy the ball, because it seems like he can just demolish any cornerback in his way. But I think the Seahawks finish in the double digits, maybe 10, 11 wins, and the Rams, I think it's going to be tough for them to win 13 games again. I feel like they're going to get the best from everyone, of course. So I feel they'll be in the double digits yet, but 11-5 is a much more appropriate record for that team. So it'll be a close race, I feel. I feel it's going to be this NFC West. There's going to be a lot of parity because these teams are trying to figure out and how to craft teams to beat each other. and it's been one of the more competitive and successful teams, other than with the Cardinals these past few years and the Niners, surprisingly dropping down. But yeah, it seems like to me it's going to be Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals again, just 1 through 4.
I think so, and honestly, of course, I'll get my final weigh-in at the end of the show, but yeah, I think you guys got a great, got a good chance of winning the division again and just dominating. And so you said the Rams 11-5, or you said 13 again, like around 13 games, you think?
Well, no, I'm of all my biases for the Rams, I feel like I have to project them a little low and give them 5 losses when I was looking at the schedule this year. Okay. Let me take a look at it again, and I can tell you those 5 games that I feel they'll lose. To me, it seems like they lose week 1 at Carolina. Where else? All right, let's go week by week. Why not? Just real quick. Yeah, they lose at week 1 to Carolina. They win at home at the season opener against the Saints. Show them who's boss. They win at Cleveland. They win against the Bucks. They win against Seattle at Seattle. They win against the Niners. Then they go to Atlanta. I feel they lose there. They play the Bengals, smacked in between the Falcons and the Steelers. So I feel like that's kind of a trap game. I feel like they lose that to Randy Dolan and the Bengals, even without A.J. Green. And then they have the Steelers, who I feel that's going to be a competitive game. And I feel like they're in deep trouble of having a 3-game losing streak there. But I think they actually pull that one out against the Steelers at Pittsburgh. But then, again, at home against the Bears, they figured out a formula against the Rams last year, and I think they give us some trouble again. Then they go Ravens at home. That should be a win. Cardinals on the 1st of December, I think they win there. I think they split with the Seahawks that following week. They beat the Cowboys at Dallas, and they finish off probably winning against the Niners and sitting everyone against the Cardinals and losing that one. So that's probably how it pans out, I feel.
I like it. Well, you definitely, that's awesome. We went through the whole schedule, man. You guys definitely have a chance. Hey, man, I think you guys are, you'll hear it. My final weigh-in at the end of the show if you listen to it. Yeah, you'll hear. I think I have a lot of positive things to say about the Rams, and I think this might be your guys' year, if not next year. But you guys are a strong, tough team, and yeah, if not this year, like I said, next year, I guess to give the team time to gel and to get even better. But with that said, we have reached the end of the segment. So, Mr. Matt, this is your time, man. The floor is yours. Go ahead and let all these diehard Rams fans listening right now in Rams Nation, let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter. And, of course, where they can find your show, your podcast, and any other publications you may write or anything you may do, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks. You can find me on Twitter at Matt with 2 T's in LA. It's Matt in LA. I do a podcast with a few of my buddies on Rams Twitter called Rams Uncensored. We definitely keep it uncensored. We try to keep it with that feeling of guys chilling out in the parking lot after the game, talking about things and how things went. So right now it's the off season, and we've had the opportunity to interview some great Rams legends like Henry Elder, Jim Everett, and also interview some great radio and sports commentators. Like we had Jeff Kavanaugh of Dallas, the 105.3 The Fan, and as well as Jeff Biggs from the LA area, who's been covering sports and commentating on the LA sports for the past 20 years plus. So yeah, we're just trying to keep things going and interviewing and getting to know people on Rams Twitter as well. And yeah, you can follow my buddies as well on Twitter. Talk at Ram Tommy in LA, Brian Giuano, and Mark Lujan. Those guys are all part of the show, and they're what makes it Rams Uncensored amazing. And yeah, thanks, Larry, for having me on, man, and giving me this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Hey, well, hey, I appreciate you as well again for being on the show. I appreciate you too, man, for being on the show. And thanks again for being a part of it. That was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate you, like I said, taking the time out of your evening to record this. Once again, it was recorded last night on July 29th, so Monday evening around like 8 o'clock at night. So it's been a long, thanks for coming on, come after a long day, man, recorded with me here part of the show today. But I appreciate that, and that will do it, y'all. So go ahead and give Matt a follow. Matt, it's Matt in LA, great guy. And well, there you go, y'all. So that does it for this segment. When we get back, it's time for those Seahawks. Oh yeah, we'll be talking Seahawks football, and then we'll be ending off the show today with Miss Angela, of course, and her Arizona Cardinals. So with that said, y'all, hang tight, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Three and Out. My gosh, 3 divisions. 3 and Outs, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC week here. We're in day 2 of NFC week, talking the NFC West. Hopefully you're enjoying the show, y'all, because I'm definitely enjoying bringing it to you. And hey, I think hopefully our guests are having a good time as well, right, Matt?
Oh yeah.
So with that said, y'all, I'll be right back after this break. We'll be talking Seattle Seahawks. Let's see what they got to say about those Seahawks this season. Anyway, y'all, with that said, hang tight. Once again, you're listening to 3 and Out right here at IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
Lay down music.
Hey, what's up, BS3 sports fans? If you love listening to the BS3 Sports Show, check out the weekend wrap-up every Monday at 12:15 Central Time, 1:15 Eastern, recapping the weekend in sports like you never heard it before. Comedy, interactive chat room. It's a must listen. Weekend wrap up on Spreaker.com, part of the X Squad. Check it out. You won't be disappointed.
What up, all you boxing fans? This is Vince Wright, the sports governor, and me and Gilbert Batista are the host of Ringside on IE Sports Radio. Make sure you keep it tuned to IE Sports Radio, Spreaker.com for the latest edition of Ringside. All the boxing news you need right here. Keep it tuned, Spreaker.com, IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Hello, soccer fans. Pierre Moss here with you. I am the host of the Soccer Scoreboard Show right here on IE Sports Radio each and every week. Games and the best action from around the world of soccer. Not only do we have live scores for you, but we also news and all the latest stories from the soccer world right here on the Soccer Scoreboard Show. Come join us each and every week right here on IE Sports Radio.
Hi everybody, it's Calvin here from USRN, here to give you an important message. Since 2017, we have done our absolute best to provide you with nothing but the highest quality of sports calls in the greatest of quantity possible. Thanks to you, our station has grown more than we ever thought. That's why, with your help, we would like to grow even further. Just think, twice the amount of your favorite calls, 24 hours of coverage, talk shows, play-by-play, game-by-game analysis, and so much more. That's right, USRN2 is officially in development. But we can't do it alone. We have set up a GoFundMe page that you can access from our homepage on the left of your screen. We also are planning special giveaways and prizes to our highest donors. Our goal here at USRN is to bring you the best calls possible at no cost to you. In order to continue to do that, we need your help now. Please check out our GoFundMe page, and if you would like to know how you can help, you can email usrnradio@gmail.com. Without your support, we couldn't do what we do.
From the home plate to the nets, the end zone to the finish line, here nothing is off limits and no sport is safe. Not what it seems with your host Caitlin Seam, bringing you sports like you've never heard before. Catch me Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on IE Sports Radio. The only question is, are you ready?
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it, my interview with Mr. Matt yesterday. That was just from last night, but of course, he's busy today. I mean, busy right now during the work hours. Of course, y'all know I have to record this earlier. I'm coaching, varsity football, so all that good stuff. But anyway, so big ups to my first two guests. Mr. Tom earlier today talking some 49ers football, and talking with Mr. Matt, my exclusive interview right here on iSports Radio, 3 and Out, with Mr. Matt right here in LA, talking about, right here in Southern California, that is, talking some Rams football. So next up, we are halfway through the NFC West right here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC week just rolling on. We're now halfway through the NFC West. And by the end of the show, we will be halfway through the NFC. We got the East coming up tomorrow, the NFC East coming up tomorrow, and the NFC South coming up on Thursday. So, let's get going, y'all. I am really glad to have this guy on the show. He's a first-timer, and what he just said right now, that we can use him anytime, well, then I'm looking forward to using him. And his co-host, by the way. His co-host, actually, Cowboys fans, so that's pretty cool. They have their own podcast, and, I'll be announcing that momentarily, and he'll tell you where you can find that all. Of course, by the, at the end of the segment. But great to have ourselves another diehard fan here, diehard Seahawks fan, talking some Seahawks football. And once again, he's a first-timer, but hopefully this won't be the last, and he'll be on for many, 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 many more times. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming diehard Seahawks fan and the co-host of the Common Ground Football Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming Mr. Brian McLaughlin. How's it doing today?
How you doing?
I'm doing the best I can, and thank you very much thank you on such short notice, by the way. I just hit this guy up last night, and he was like, I'll do it. And I'm glad, you were actually available in the one-time slot that was actually, I was looking for somebody for this time slot, and he was like, I could do that. I'm like, oh my gosh. So,
I'm always willing to help out fellow football podcasters. It's not an easy thing to do, and that's my lunchtime, so I was more than happy to do it.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I'm more than happy to help you guys out in any way possible. We can cross-promote. I'd love that. We can promote you guys, you can promote us. That may be awesome. So I really appreciate that, and thank you so much for being on today's show. Yeah, so let's go ahead and talk real quick about you being a diehard, man. So let's go ahead and how did it happen? Of course, I know you just told me you're from up there, so I mean, it could be a geographical thing. I mean, myself, I was born a Los Angeles Raider, so of course, my father, I'm a second generation fan. I love my team, and that's all there is to it. Some people have different ways of becoming fans, and that's cool. I mean, different ways that they became fans. But, Mr. Brian, what's your story, man? How did you become such a diehard Seahawks fan?
Well, it was actually later in life for me. I was always more of a baseball fan growing up, and maybe it was because I got tired of the Seattle Mariners sucking so bad and just something else. Or when I met my now wife, would have been like 13 or 14 years ago, 6 years ago, 2004. I'd gone to games as a kid with one of my ex-girlfriend's families and always enjoyed them and had a good time, but when I met my wife,
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that, and that's super cool. Neat, unique way of becoming a fan, and yeah, that seems like you're a total diehard. I love it because yeah, I know on Twitter, and you ever talk about the Seahawks. I was like, hey, that guy. So I'm gonna see what's up. So yeah, man, great stuff, and I'm glad that you're able to continue to be a diehard, and you guys have had plenty to cheer about in the last decade or so. I mean, within the last decade, winning your first ever Super Bowl ever in franchise history. I know the painful Madden moment where you absolutely you pressed the wrong dang button and you forgot to audible and you end up throwing instead of running on the goal line. That happens. I understand. But hey, I think everyone knows here on the show, and if you don't know, well, you're going to find out right now. I have a soft spot for the Seahawks. I am a diehard USC fan, so of course, Pete Carroll was like our dude. So big fan of Pete Carroll. I'm also a big Russell Wilson fan because I'm a fellow tiny football player who still to make a professional team and still is working hard for that. So the guy is a small guy, and he proves that it doesn't matter if you're tiny or not, you can still play at a high level. So this guy is Russell Wilson. I'm a big fan of his, and I love what he said in the draft or in the combine a couple years back when he did get drafted, that he has a lot of what you can't measure. That's heart. You can measure a 40, you can measure vertical, you can measure a broad jump, you can measure a shuttle, you can measure all these, bench press. You can't really measure that. You can count reps, but you can measure all these things. You're 20, you're 40, but guess what? You can't measure heart. And that's something that he said he had a lot of, and I'm like, exactly, that's it. So great stuff, and so awesome, man. I love it. So let's take a quick look here. Let's use some Google magic and take here. So let's dial up the NFC West from last year. And, well, it was a tale of literally two halves. Literally. If you were to half the division in half, it was literally a tale of two halves. You have top two. It was crazy. You have the top two, of course, is courtesy of NFL.com, where I'm getting my sources from here. We have the NFC West, the Rams, 13-3. Well, they went all the way to the bowl. Unfortunately for them, they would follow the Patriots. But you guys at 10-6, and then there was this crazy 6-game gap, and then there was San Francisco 49ers at 4-12, and the Arizona Cardinals at 3-13. Total drop off after the Seahawks. So with that said, man, go ahead and talk a little bit about last season, the highs, the lows, anything else you like to talk about, of course, into the playoffs, whatever you want to talk about, man. Talk about your team whatever you want to talk about from last season. Go ahead and let us know your thoughts.
Last season was actually a surprise for a lot of us fans. I'm what I like to call a realist type fan. I don't like to sugarcoat things. I don't like to be like the eternal optimist. I want to be more real about things. And if I think a team's going to do bad, I'm going to say the team's going to do bad. I thought the Seahawks last year was definitely going to be better than most people were saying. I thought maybe 9-7 at the best. Ended up finishing 10-6. I did not think they'd make the playoffs just because you had a bunch of these coaches. They had the clean house. You had a new regime under Pete Carroll. You had people leaving. You had Sherman gone. You had the Earl Thomas drama. You had Sam gone. You had all this changeover. But I liked who they had, and so I thought they'd be better than people were predicting. Playoffs was a bonus, and the fact that they were able to get there, and so now Russell at this time has only had one season that he hasn't made the playoffs, which I think is just nuts. It exceeded expectations. Let's basically say that. Honestly, if you look at their record and you actually go games, you go through their 6 losses, they were in all of them. There was not a blowout in there, and even the games against the Rams were a powerhouse last year. They were in both those games and actually had a shot to win it, and you came out of those games disappointed that they didn't win them when you went into them thinking, well, God, if they can at least just stay with it and not let it be a blowout loss, that's great. So for me, it was definitely an exceeded expectation season, and I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think you guys, they really did exceed expectations, because I'm the same way. I'm a realist. I think everybody on here will tell you that, yeah, Larry is a realist when it comes to his Raiders, because I will diss them more than I will applaud them, because I'm just a hard fan. And I've had enough of them losing and just falling apart in the last, 2 decades. So anyway, you know, we have our 1 year and we're happy with that. But I'm the same way. I will tell you when I think the team isn't going to be, you know, legit, or when they are. And this year I'm really excited because I think we actually have a chance of making the playoffs and maybe making a deep run. But for you know, but I like that. You're a realist. So with that said, let's go ahead now and get into free agency. So with the with the Seahawks free agency this year, well, first of all, you guys had a pretty decent off season. I'm totally like spacing on what you guys even did. So let's go and take a quick look here, courtesy of ESPN.com. KJ Wright, of course, has re-signed him, and the guy is an absolute beast, one of my favorite linebackers in the NFL. Next to good old seriously, I'm a big fan of Bobby Wagner because he's from right here in the Inland Empire where I live. He's like literally like he's from like Rancho Cucamonga, I think, or some of these places. Like he's not too far. It's literally like local for me where I live. So awesome stuff here from him. Mike Iapati, this guy, seriously, all he's got to do is be a Ram and he's on every freaking NFC West team. Like seriously, like Mike is a beast, okay? Like, this is one of the biggest human beings I think I've ever seen. I've never saw him in real life, but he's freaking huge. And it's just funny because I remember him being a Niner, then I remember him being a Cardinal, and now he's a dang Seahawk. So if he were to, like, one day be traded or get picked up by the Rams, I'd be like, that makes sense. Like, no, I kind of want to see this now in a messed up way. And I don't want him to be like continue to be a journeyman. I don't really want to see that. It's kind of messed up. But if he were to go to the Rams one day, I'd be like, you know what? What player can say that they did that? Like, they played for all 4 teams in one division.
Yeah. Maybe that's his goal. I don't know.
So, I mean, just saying, it's funny because, I mean, you know, if he does, cool. Maybe it's I'm sure it's total coincidence. He just ends up on these teams, but it's just funny. So, anyway, Mike Iapati, giant monster there, playing now for the Seahawks. We have DJ Fluker. You guys re-signed him. Let's see, who else?
Yeah, that was huge.
Yeah, that was pretty huge. So DJ Fluker, Michael Kendricks, linebacker. I like it. We also have Akeem. Let's see here. Let's see what else. We got Akeem King, defensive back. Guys, got him. And Jason Myers, kicker. And I think that's it. So if there's any other names that I forgot to mention, go ahead and throw them in there. But the floor is yours, Mr. Brian. Let us know how you guys, your thoughts on free agency this year.
It wasn't a big splashy off-season for signing free agents, but the names you just rattled off, Mike Iapati, he's a monster. It's unfortunate. It sounds like he was in a walking boot today at training out Pacific Great Dude. I don't know what's going on there, but they've got him. It's not a one-year deal. There was some concern with, I guess, Arizona. I figured he was starting to break down anyway. But luckily it's a 1-year contract, and hopefully he can be out there and perform. That offensive line, which we thought was god awful, and I think was more to do with coaching than it was actually to do with the players, because even a player like Jermaine Effetti, who he is basically, as fans all started to write off as a seat weight, he actually made strides last year with the entire offensive line. They looked way better under their new coach, Mike Solari. So that was good news. Keeping KJ Wright with a big deal. Now that they locked up Bobby Wagner too and just gave him his extension, now you've got those two out there that Bobby Wagner is, to me, best linebacker in the game right now. He's a stud, and it was imperative that they were able to keep him at least for the next about 4 seasons now with him, which is great. But it really wasn't. Besides, I mean, the biggest move I think was actually the move that they got rid of somebody, was trading. They franchise tagged Frank Clark, and then we were all hoping they would get an extension done because he's a dang good player, and unfortunately ended up trading him and to get rid of all that, having to pay him $100 million plus because that market kept going up and up. So I think that was the biggest move, was saying goodbye to Frank, and then Ziggy. What's Ziggy's last name? Escaping my mind right now. But he'll be moving into that position, the defensive tackle position, as long as his shoulder can hold up. And but you know what? The moves they made, they did take a butt. I was happy with all of them. Jimmy Kicker. It's kind of funny that Myers ended up being the guy they went with. He was in camp last year with Sebastian Janikowski for much less money, and they ended up using Pete. He was terrible. And so now Myers comes back. They're paying him more money than they would have paid if they just kept him last year. But I guess, better late than never. This kid. So I was happy with Kelsey.
Awesome. Well, yeah, Seabass, and this is another play. It's like the Raiders and the Seahawks share players, like I feel.
Yes.
Like, it's hilarious how we do this. Like, even coaches.
That's very true. We do coach saying here at Tom Cable is all yours.
Tom Cable, Ken Norton Jr., remember him?
Yep.
I mean, he was a Seahawks coach.
We just trade people back and forth.
Like, I think it's pretty funny. It's like this West Coast connection. Like, all right, we're good. Like, yeah, you're the closest team north to us. Okay, well, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know who's actually higher, the Niners or the Raiders, but who cares? I mean, it's like, no, we're cool. We don't want to talk to them. We'll be cool with the Seahawks. Like, it's freaking hilarious. Like, I think it's funny. Like, our players go back and forth and coaches and everything. So, with that said, not the big splashy free agency. It is what it is. But okay, so let's move it on now into the draft, because I think I really liked your guys' draft. There's a lot of them where I was like legit, like, okay, this is great. And okay, so here we go. Starting things off with, oh my gosh, I loved your draft because your first pick. Okay, Brian, you're probably going to be like, it's no big deal. No. I'm a fellow defensive lineman, okay? I'm a defensive end. I freaking love this first round pick, okay? This dude right here, I was watching him in a Senior Bowl practice. I was watching him in the Senior Bowl. Homeboy, like in the freaking, there was a play, it was like a little dump pass. LJ Collier would get out of his stance, and then immediately eyes go right to where the ball's thrown. Hunter Renfrow, which is now a Raider, and it's kind of funny, a Raider-Seahawk connection, a future Raider-Seahawk kind of thing going on, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm trying to make too much of this now, as you can see. Sorry. But anyway, so LJ Collier shifts his body, makes a beeline, and smacks Hunter Renfrow right when he catches that ball. And this is a big boy. It's like, you know what, there were linebackers and DBs, right? But this big boy, he rumbles down the field. Well, maybe it was only like 8 yards, but still, he got there. And this guy's a beast. The last monstrous defensive end I remember coming out of TCU was Jerry Hughes, 10 years ago, somewhere around there. So I'm just saying, I forgot where he went. But anyway, great player. I mean, I loved his footwork in Senior Bowl practice. I loved him in the game. I thought this guy played so good. I was so excited to see him get picked up in the first round. As a Raider fan, I would have loved to have taken him too. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Clelin Ferrell. But this guy right here was a freaking beast. I mean, LJ Collier is a great pick, like a great pick. I know you're probably like what it is, but I don't know, maybe the way I do. But I just loved his technique. I love he was a pretty strong guy. He's got great size. I think and once again, hey, size don't matter in my opinion. You have a little guy out there like myself, and the same thing. But I'm just saying, this guy is a beast. He's a very good player, very tough physical player, and I really like this pickup. So second round, you guys go with Marquise Blair, safety out of Utah. I'm a Pac-12 guy to think I know a little more about this guy, but I don't. Regardless, the Utes, they've gotten much better. They are competitive now in the Pac-12, and well, I'm gonna say that, it's a big possibility that this guy was a big reason why that defense was what they were, or at least, he contributed plenty, and I'm sure that you guys can find some quality. You guys got quality in this pick, so good stuff there. Next up in the second round, this is the pick that I think everybody. Some people thought he was going to go higher. I definitely thought he was going to go higher. He fell to the second round, and wouldn't you know, you guys picked him up, and that's DK Metcalf, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. I mean, the last big time receiver to come out of Ole Miss, of course, Laquan for the Vikings, and I mean, this guy right here is a big, tough, physical. I don't know if he's very, very big, but he's a physical dude. He's tough. He's huge. He's huge. Well, he's a freaking great player. Like, his route running is crisp. He's got good hands. He's a good player. And you know what? He went to a team that I think is really going to use him. Like Russell Wilson's that dude where like, he's basically running a route too. Like, it's kind of funny because he does roll out plenty, but, I mean, he can be a pocket guy, but playing with Russell Wilson has got to be, like, even tougher, like, because he's on the run just like how you are, so it's like, oh, crap, like, you don't even know. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, he's just, as a wide receiver, he's got to be a lot, you know, he's going to be a very reliable target, I know that, but I think he's going to really enjoy playing with Russell Wilson because of his, you know, his arm strength, of course, but with just the fact that Russell Wilson can make plays on his legs, that he can be out of nowhere, so he's a big guy, it could be a route, and oh no, wait, here comes Russell, here comes Wilson, boom, make a block. I mean, seriously, like, he's just... to me, I just feel like DK Metcalf he's going to do really well. Pete Carroll's a great coach. I love how they do the competitions and all that during practice and all the really neat stuff. I think he's going to really enjoy being there. I think that he's just going to be, you know, he's going to enjoy being a Seahawk. Third round, Cody Barton. Good pick. Linebacker out of Utah. That's another player. Once again, I don't know much about the Utes right now. I really don't. But 2 guys from Utah. So Pete Carroll must have attended a Utes game or something this year because I like it. Some good picks. Okay, you guys got a safety and a linebacker from Utah. Gary Jennings Jr., wide receiver in the 4th round. Wide receiver out of West Virginia. West Virginia this year. Will Greer had a decent year. I seen this guy and I forgot the tight end's name, but in the Senior Bowl, pretty good hands. Good hands. I don't know about his size. Oh, he's 6'1", 214. So he's a pretty big boy, too. Not too super tall, but a big boy. You know, nice. Another weapon for Russell Wilson. Also in the 4th round, you guys have Phil Haynes, offensive lineman out of Wake Forest. Don't know much about Wake Forest from this past season, but you added some depth to the offensive line. Then you have a name that I'm going to just butcher, but in the 4th round, Uchak, I believe, Amadi, safety out of Oregon, once again, Pac-12 guy. You know, the Oregon hasn't been what they've been, but, you know, sure, a speedy safety, somebody who they felt can really help out. And he can add depth there in the secondary. Next up, you guys just literally stayed Pac-12, my gosh. Well, for the most part, Ben Burr-Kirven, a linebacker out of Washington, so he's going to be literally home. He's going to be staying right there in Seattle, where UW is. I mean, not too far away. So, you know, right there on the Sound, and he's going to be that's a pretty good pickup right here. Another linebacker to add some depth right there with Wagner and KJ Wright. And we have Travis in the 6th round. Travis Homer, running back out of Miami. Miami was a head turner in the last couple of years. They aren't necessarily that old Miami. They're certainly a rougher. They seem to have turned a corner. They've turned a page. They're a much better Miami, I think, now. And, you know, hey, this guy right here maybe could add some depth at running back. Who knows? I mean, I didn't even know who McKissick was until last year. And it's like, oh, wow, this guy's legit. Like, you know, these guys pop out of nowhere. It's awesome. So, in this one, DeMarcus Christmas, defensive tackle out of Florida State. Big boy coming out of the ACC. Don't know much about him. But John Ursua, wide receiver out of Hawaii. Don't know much about him either. But, yeah, there it is. So, yeah, once again, John Ursua, wide receiver out of Hawaii in the 7th round, and there it is. So I think I gave you guys like a solid B or like an A minus, maybe even an A. You guys are a solid A. You guys look pretty good. But with that said, I know I've talked way too much. My apologies. So Brian, take on over, man. Give me your thoughts on the draft. Go pick by pick if you want to. Sum it all up however you want to, and then give us a grade if you like.
Well, right off the bat, I C plus, solid B plus on the draft. They went after exactly who we thought they were. It was a defensive heavy draft for both teams. So it was just that was what was available, which fit right into what the Seahawks needed, which was defensive line play. They traded Frank Clark right before the draft for more draft picks. They started out the draft on like 4 picks, and then ended up getting like 1, 2, 3, and then ends at 13 picks or something, 12. It was to start out with 4 and you know what they do. That's what John Schneider does. So we get crazy in the draft. Some of them have been great drafts, others, not so much. But to go from only 4, which freaked us all out as fans. And then they went right out there and immediately went after a defensive end. Unfortunately, so LJ Collier, so he's a big dude, and it sounds like in camp they've been working a lot on hand placement and lots of hand drills. Isn't necessarily a great sign in his development that maybe they're a little concerned with that. However, I've been watching video from practice, and to me, I think he looks great. Then right before I came on the air with you, he left practice today. They were doing an 11-on-11 scrimmage. He left on a cart with a lower leg injury. So Don't know what happened yet. Don't know how serious it is. But lower, as you probably know, lower injuries are never good. And so I'm hoping that it's something minor. But leaving on a cart is not a good sign.
Never.
Then we went strong safety with Marquise Blair. With Earl Thomas gone, with Cam gone, and then the uncertainty with Cedric Thompson. Back there at the safety position. McDougal, I think, will be fine back there. Bradley McDougal, he did great. They were going to need to go because they need to figure something out there and get that next regime of guys. Like, you're never going to be able to replace the kind of talent that they had in Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas. Those were one in a million type players, in my opinion. Cam was such a big hitter, and Earl Thomas was just how he could get everywhere on the field in a split second was beyond me. That dude was everywhere, and so you'll never be able to replace to that level. But you got to find somebody. So I know that's what they were doing there. And then you were right. The pick everyone's most excited about is DJ Metcalf. And so far in training camp and practice, that dude has not disappointed. He's been everywhere. He's huge. There was a picture posted yesterday of him, and everybody was in full pads yesterday, and him standing next to Tyler Lockett, and he made Tyler Lockett look like this tiny little guy. He's a monster. And so people worried about, because he's so big, you're going to be, mobile enough out there at wide receiver. His route running has been fantastic. Definitely the most highlights that you've seen online so far from practice. And him and Ruddle already seem to have quite the chemistry going. So if Lockett and Wilson already have that chemistry, now you're going to add DK in there. And I'd be a little scared of the wide receiver, which is great news for the Seahawks for sure. All they were doing by taking up Cody Barton, they were basically doing what they should be doing at linebacker position, and that's adding depth. One of the big things I've always been happy about in this Pete Carroll era has been the depth, and it's something that's been a little struggled at the last couple seasons. But when they were going to the back-to-back Super Bowl, the depth is what helped them get, because you could take a guy out, the guy that was replaced that was just as powerful, just as monstrous, and just as skilled. And so you really didn't have to worry whether your first string was out there, your second string was out there, or even your third string was out there. You knew that they were going to perform at the level that you expected. So not a lot of giant names besides DK being the star and the stud in that draft. But overall, B+, I was very happy with it. Again, only started out with four picks and ended up with 12 to 15, whatever. It was a good night, or a good couple days for sure, and I was happy with it.
That is awesome, and you know what? That's super neat. So you're actually at training camp.
What's that?
So you were actually at training camp?
No, I'm obsessed with keeping track of it. So I'm on Twitter all day.
Okay.
Probably more than I should be, and I follow all the right guys to get updates on what's going on. And as much as I would love to make the trip over there, it sells out so fast. Such a different atmosphere for Seahawks training camp. It's hard to get committed to a day and be able to get over there and do it. But thank God for Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. Hey, but thank God for Twitter. I mean, definitely, that's why we do the show. I mean, that's how we do the show. So, absolutely, man. So, and yeah, I mean, hey, and also my thoughts and prayers with the player who was injured again in training camp. That sucks.
Our number one pick, our LJ Collier, the defensive end, he went down with a lower leg injury down play. Left practice on a cart. Don't know what it is. I think the last tweet I saw was Adam Schefter was saying something about they were looking at the ankle, so that's a shame. Hopefully it's nothing serious for sure.
Yeah, well, thoughts and prayers with OJ Collier, and hope he returns back there soon, man. So yeah, I guess he's a tough player. I'd love for him to be able to play this year. So I hope that he's all right. And let's get my thoughts and prayers with you, Mr. OJ Collier, and hopefully he can get back out there soon. So, with that said, alrighty, well, we have pretty much gotten to the end of the segment, but real quick, man, I mean, this is awesome. You're definitely, you love your team, and this is a tough team who's got plenty of grit. They got plenty to build from, and I'm just so excited for this team this season, man. Especially, hopefully, LJ Collier gets out there, but yeah, Metcalf gets out there. That's hilarious that make Lockett look tiny. Lockett, another guy I remember seeing in college. I literally just seen one Kansas State game, like not one, but it's hilarious. One of the only Kansas State games I've ever watched. I see this guy named Tyler Lockett return this like 99 or 100 yard, however long it was, return, and I was like, this guy is legit. In the very next season is when he gets drafted, he goes to Seahawks, and I was like, this dude's going to be a stud. And then he goes to the freaking Seahawks returning punts and kicks and stuff. I mean, this guy is amazing. So yeah, Tyler Lockett, man. But anyway, so with that said, that is pretty much it. Now we're going to have some fun here. Well, I mean, we've been having fun, but we're going to go ahead and get on into the segment I like to call Stick It To 'Em, man. So here we go. Nothing crazy. The first two, I mean, well, yeah, Matt got a little bit on everybody. Mr. Tom was very polite and nice and respectful, but hey, you can do what you want. All right, Mr. Brian, you could be mean and disrespectful or nice and respectful or neutral or however you want to do it, but this segment is called Stick It To 'Em. Go ahead and talk about the NFC West this year, all the other teams as well, the Cardinals, the 49ers, and the LA Rams. Talk about how they're going to do this year, as well as their Seahawks. You can rank them or place them 1, 2, 3, 4, how they're going to finish, or 4, 3, 2, 1, however you want to do it, in whichever order. Then go ahead and give final records only if you would like to. Also, for your team, you don't have to give a final record if you don't like as well. I know some people are superstitious, and that's totally understandable. So, that said, Mr. Brian, once again, all thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here at iSports Radio, including the podcasters and the guests. So with that said, Mr. Brian, stick it to him.
Sounds like a fun segment. I have no problem talking crap about my NFC West rivals. Because they all suck. No, I think it's going to be, you mentioned at the beginning about how you have the skills you have. I don't think it's going to be quite that same way. You got to remember the Niners didn't have their quarterback for most of the season, and that was a huge blow to them. I think that they'll be better this year. They're going to be worse than the Seahawks, but they will be better. I think the Rams, God, I hate them so much, but they're so good. Although I would be concerned if I were them about Todd Gurley. Obviously, there was something wrong with him at the end of last season. That Super Bowl performance by them was pathetic and awful, and they should be embarrassed. And this year, if Gurley isn't playing well, I don't have all the faith in their quarterback to be able to lead that team to back-to-back Super Bowls or even, necessarily beyond the first round of the playoffs. I do think they have enough talent that they'll probably win the division again. But it will be close between them and my Sox for sure. And then the Cardinals, they're going to suck. They're going to be awful. They're going to be at the bottom again. They don't know what they're doing. I would think they draft Rosen, and then, Kamuri shows up, and they get a new coach who likes him, and they're like, oh, yeah, let's just trade away we already drafted him. Let's just trade him away in the draft for Kyler Murray. That made no sense to me whatsoever, and they're going to be awful, and I can't wait to see it. And I have a buddy who's a giant Niners fan, and he's on our show all the time. And I would love for his Niners to be terrible as well. But I think if you were going to rank, the Rams will be first, Seahawks will be right below them. You could probably flip those two, because I think the Seahawks are going to be better than everybody thinks. We're going into another season of low expectations for them. And then at the bottom of the division, you're going to have the Niners at 3, and then the Cardinals. Like, there could be other teams in the division, and it would could see between them and the Niners. The Arizona Cardinals will be at the very bottom because they're just terrible. Records wise, I'm not. It's not that I'm superstitious. I just don't like to pick the records for my own team until we see the preseason, and because right now we just don't know. You've got a bunch of draft picks that haven't proven themselves yet. We don't know who's going to be starting. Haven't seen them play an actual game. Well, I'm not going to pick a record for my team. Thanks for giving me the option on that. I appreciate it. But I will tell you that the Rams will probably be 11-5. I give the Niners 9-7, maybe, and the Cardinals will be 1-15. Who cares? So that would be what I see the NFC West turning out to be, for sure.
You know what? Wow, I love how you're like no, Niners can do pretty good, and then like the Cardinals like wow, like okay, so if you're working right now, I mean if you can listen in, oh my gosh, please click the link and listen into the next one because Angela from the East Coast, she's awesome, she's in our PR department, she's coming up next, and she's like the most hardcore Cardinal fan I've ever met in my life. Like she is absolutely like Cardinals all day long, and
so she won't like any of the stuff I just said.
No, she's probably going to bring you up. I guess what?
Totally fine. Totally fine. I have a. It's weird. Well, I guess now it'll be interesting because Bruce Arians was down there, and just there's something about the Cardinals that drove me more nuts than even the Niners and the Rams. They're just besides like Larry Fitzgerald, who I will have nothing but respect for always, because that dude I just they're the team that maybe because they came up to Seattle and won, and then they got off cocky because they were actually able to come up there and win, and then they took that and were like, hey, look at us. But if there's a team that I hate the most for division, for right now, it's definitely the Cardinals. Can't stand them. They're going to be awesome.
Poor Cardinals. Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, where's that applause button at, man? Mr. Brian McLaughlin. Hey, man, thank you so much for being on the show today. With that said, hey, man, the floor is yours. Tell all these diehard Seahawks in the 12th man Seahawks Nation, 12th man Nation, whatever y'all want to say, okay? However y'all want to call it, what do they call it? What do they call that section where you guys sit? For the season ticket holders?
Oh, all it is. The entire stadium is season ticket holders. I think it's like 60,000 season ticket holders. I mean, it's just the number. Stadium seats 67,000-ish, and the fact there's like 7,000 to 8,000 seats, like single game tickets available per game. That's it. It's just nuts. We have quite the following, and then we have like a 90% renewal rate. So. The fan base up here is top-notch, even though people hate us.
That's awesome. And I think it's like the Hawk's Nest or something like that. Like I forgot, but...
Yeah, Hawk's Nest is at the north end of the stadium. That's just a fun little view. If you've never been to a game at CenturyLink Field, they just put it on your bucket list, even if you're not a Seahawks fan, and just go there and experience it, because on TV they'll tell you how loud it is. You don't know until you're actually sitting in any seat in that stadium and you get the actual experience of how loud it can be. And I feel bad for any defense that is on that field, or any opposing offense that is on that field trying to do anything, because it's got to be impossible with how loud it is.
That is insane. Well, that's pretty neat. So go ahead, man. Tell all these Seahawks diehards, all these Seahawks fans listening right now, where they can find your show, where they can find you on Twitter, and anything else you'd like to share.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. I do appreciate it. I do the Common Ground Football Podcast with my buddy Andrew, who's a diehard Cowboys fan. That dude is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to football, and boy, it makes me sound like an idiot most weeks. And I love him to death. We started, this is our third season now, and just kicked off our third season last week. And it's trying to find common ground with two fan bases and teams that aren't necessarily liked very much. And it has turned into one hell of a fun show, and we do it weekly. The new episodes come out on Wednesday, and we are available everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, everywhere you can listen to podcasts. And then always at our website, which is commongroundfootballpodcast.com. It's a light, fun show. We just goof around. We talk Star Wars every once in a while, and we have a great time. And we have great listener base, and love all the support. So check us out if you get time.
That's awesome. Well, looking forward to that. Go check him out, y'all. Go give him a follow. Go give him a follow. Give them a follow. I definitely can't wait to tune in myself and check it out. So with that said, hey, once again, ladies and gentlemen, where's that applause button? I know you can't hear it, but here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brian McLaughlin. Hey, thanks again, man, for being a part of the show. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful week, man. God bless you and your family, and we'll have you back on the show very soon for a primetime face-off, or just to talk some Seahawks football.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Take care. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. All righty, y'all. Once again, Mr. Brian McLaughlin. All right, well, with that said, one more fan to go. I already mentioned Miss Angela is on her way. And, well, she'll be here in just about 3 minutes. So with that said, we're going to take ourselves a break. a short break, and when we get back, we are talking Cardinals with Miss Angela Winstead. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days, NFC Week, NFC West edition, right here at eSports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back after this.
My NBA college basketball fans out there, tired of hearing about just the dramatic stuff in the basketball world, tired of hearing about what such and such reward tonight, and not about the game? Hey, leave all of that alone. Because on Wednesday night, I got this show called Fast Break with Phil Jones here on the IE Sports Radio. And all we talk about is straight basketball, from where it comes down to the NBA, the NCAA, and even the WNBA. I don't discriminate. I give all my NBA, my basketball, whatever you want with sports, to the slam dunks, to the three-pointers, to the teardrops, to the game winners. I'm there. I'm speaking about it. I have a debate. I have my panel. I got a squad that rolls in. And we're going to be talking mad sports. We're going to be talking about the Lakers. We're going to be talking about even the Brooklyn Nets. We're going to be talking about who's the top team out there in the NBA. So, tired of all the drama. Tired of all what he wear today? What kind of shoes he had? Forget all that. Just come over. Fast Break with Phil Jones here on IE Sports Radio every Wednesday night at 8 Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, y'all. So, tune in.
Hey USRN fans, do you have a product or company you're trying to promote? Look no further. USRN is teaming up with small local businesses trying to establish themselves via online promotion. Let us know if you're interested. Email us at usrnradio@gmail.com to learn more.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Vince Wright, the sports governor from the great state of Minnesota, and I want to thank you for listening to Sports Done Right. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our platforms, whether it's Spreaker.com, XSquadAffiliates.com. We're also heard on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, so keep it tuned here. More great things coming from Sports Done Right.
Welcome back, football fans. Well, there you have it, y'all. We are right back at it. Some great shows there. Of course, check out the sports governor of Minnesota, Mr. Vince Wright, over there on Sports Done Right. Check him out. Sports Done Right with his last name, y'all. WRIGHT. And, of course, check him out. And the Cut Man, as named by the sports governor of Minnesota, Mr. Vince Wright. The Cut Man, Mr. Gilbert Batista. Check them out. They are on about once a month on IE Sports Radio, talking boxing and MMA, so great stuff there. So, with that said, all right, y'all. Well, Mr. Brian McLaughlin, man, this guy definitely a diehard. Talked about his team and had some daggers for the Cardinals. And wouldn't you know it, we got a diehard Cardinal right here. And I'm glad to have her. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman needs no introduction. I mean, she is about as... It's like diehard to the Cardinals is what she does. But also, diehard to IE Sports Radio is something else she does. I mean, I can't even tell you that she's all over it. Super duper diehard listener here now. She's a part of us. Me introducing her for the first time now as a official member of the IE Sports Radio family in our brand new PR department. She is amazing, and she, at the end of the day, just all Cardinals all day long. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Miss B-Red, C-Red herself. Ladies and gentlemen, Angela Winstead. How's it going, Angela?
Hey, it's going good. How are you doing, Larry?
I'm doing my best, thank you, and I'm glad to hear you're doing great. And, well, I know you just heard the comments from Mr. Brown. I know you did.
Oh, yes. Always. I'm used to them by now.
Poor Angela. So, with that said, let's get on over about these Cardinals. Now, your story, and you know what, Angela, gosh darn it, every year, like last year, I think you were on the last, 2 years doing this exact show, right?
Yeah.
The last 2 years. And you know what, every year I know I make you repeat it, but quick and dirty. I mean, this time you don't have to go through everything all in detail, but last year, I mean, it was like, my gosh, I don't know if there was a dry eye in the house. Like, I love it. Your story is so unique. And for all the new listeners listening in today, we have, plenty of you, I'm sure, and lots of Cardinals fans listening right now. So I just got to say, Angela, real quick, your story, your amazing story. God is so great, y'all. Your amazing story of how you actually became a diehard Cardinals fan.
Yeah, so growing up in good old Eastern North Carolina, once the Panthers came around, everybody was Panthers fans. I grew up a Panthers fan, not going to lie. But then when it's about time, Kurt Warner, I got really big into following football and stuff. About the time Kurt Warner was with the Rams, they won the Super Bowl. And then he had his, stints in other places, and then he ended up getting picked up by the Cardinals, and so I kind of followed him to Arizona. And then a year later, Larry Fitzgerald got there, so, I really liked their style of play, really liked, how they played together, the team, etc. So I was one of those secret Cardinals fans for the longest time, but then finally decided, I'm all out Cardinals, so became a big Cardinals fan, and then about 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and the outpour of love and support from Cardinals, like the entire Cardinals nation, the Red Sea, was just absolutely amazing. I got offered for game tickets. I got to go. I went to the Cardinals Carolina game 3 years ago. Got to go back to where the players' families meet. Met a couple of the players. Actually, when back when Deion Buchanan was on the team, got his autographed breast cancer hat, and that was actually the last outing that I had before my surgery. So, even though the Cardinals lost and it wasn't pretty, it was still very memorable. And, it's one of those things that I will forever be grateful for. Is the opportunity to connect to so many sports fans and so many Cardinals fans, and just the players, Deion Buchanan, and then Clay Campbell was on the team at the time, and his mom, and they kept saying, praying for you, we're thinking about you, and we're talking about Mike Upati, now he's with the Seahawks. One of his family members had actually made Cardinals ring, and she'd worn it to every game, was not, everybody had always asked her for a ring, and she was like, no, and she heard my story and gave me her ring that she had worn. So it just kind of made me feel like, there are good people out there. The Cardinals Nation, the Red Sea, everyone for their support, definitely got me through some of my hardest times. And, I'll forever be in debt to the Cardinals fans, but I will forever love them and always be a Cardinals fan.
God is so great. That is beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, by the grace of God, this woman beat cancer, and now she is rocking and rolling, doing her thing. I'm pretty sure she was rocking and rolling even with it. She's definitely, Angela's like no other, and just hearing the story every year, it just feels like the first time of her time, and she's amazing. So, yeah, you're truly amazing, Angela, and I'm just so glad to say God is so great. I'm so glad He healed you. You're good. You're cancer free. You're living. You're doing your thing, and now it's like you're just so, like, you're devoted, of course, to your life and what you do, but, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, I mean, football, it's so awesome. That's why I'm just I'll tell you right now, it is an honor to have you aboard. Not just, of course, for so many years of listening, but it is an honor to have you aboard as, in our PR department at IE Sports Radio. It is an absolute honor.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it. For the the past couple of weeks so far. It's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what the future holds at IE Sports. I think it's going to be amazing.
Thank you, and yeah, you're right. You're coming along for the ride, and every time, and I can't wait to, for you and Meg are doing a great job now, adding Stephanie, and y'all are just awesome ladies, awesome women who are really just helping out. You guys are you ladies are the driving force of iSports Radio, and we really appreciate you. So thank you so much. So with that said, okay, so we only got about maybe 25 minutes to get through all this, but I know we can because I got to get my final weigh-in at the end of it too, so it's okay, but I know we can get through it. So with that said, Miss Angela, let's roll through free agency real quick. So of course, T-Sizzle, this was absolutely amazing, okay? You guys, it's going to be so weird seeing Terrell Suggs in another jersey besides the Ravens, but my gosh, you guys signed the timeless Terrell Suggs. J.R. Sweezy, you guys will sign him from the Seahawks. So, big boy there, big guard going on over. Brett Hundley, great pickup in my opinion, okay, from the Green Bay Packers. He was a great player. I'm a Pac-12 guy, so I've been following. I followed him at UCLA. Great player there. Jordan Hicks, inside linebacker. You guys will acquire him from the Philadelphia Eagles. Ricky Seals-Jones, tight end. You guys will, I think I actually re-signed him, it looks like. And then Darius Phelan, I'm going to butcher his name, but defensive lineman. You guys will pick up, looks like from the Chargers. And that's about that. So, any other free agency or any moves that you guys made that I have missed out? And then, of course, give your thoughts on free agency.
Definitely excited about having 12 on our defense along with Chandler Jones. I think the two of them are definitely going to pressure the quarterback and definitely, help us with our defense and our sacks. Definitely really looking forward to having J.R. Sweezy on our offensive line as being a state fan, growing up in North Carolina, pulling for. I heard ECU fans, but I do pull for NC State. So being a state fan, I've watched J.R. Sweezy in college, and he was phenomenal. And so, of course, being a Cardinals fan, also having him go to Seahawks kind of broke my heart. Same way with Russell Wilson, but we won't hold it against him. But so glad to have JR on our offensive line. That's going to be one of the biggest things. We also picked up Max Garcia from the Broncos, who's another offensive lineman. So I think, we're finally starting to build a decent O-line, which we definitely struggled in last year. We got a couple of cornerbacks. Patrick Peterson, obviously, going to be out for the first 6 games. We got Robert Alford from the Falcons that I think is really going to help. And then we also got Josh Shaw that was with the Bucs. So I think having some depth back there, there are times where we're still hurting not having Tyrann Mathieu on our defense, but I think adding, a lot of depth is really going to help us. We did add some wide receivers. We got Kevin White came over from the Bears, and then Demir Bird from he was with the Panthers. He's also, I think, been with Saints. So, we all know that Larry's not going to be here forever. As much as I love to have 60 a Cardinal, so he dies, be 100 and play. We all know that's not going to happen. So, just trying to grab some more reserves to help him out is also trying to help a lot of the younger guys that we have, like Chad Williams, help them to groom them and be there for support. So I'm excited about our free agency this year.
I like that. There's some more pickup scores I didn't see here on the website, but absolutely great free agency. I thought you guys had pretty good players there coming on in. Really excited for T-Sizzle, man. Ball so hard university. So excited for him to get on over there, and you guys are looking pretty good. I'm actually pretty excited for the Cardinals to not be a terrible team this year. I think, guys, you'll hear my final way at the end, but I feel like right now this team is definitely on the right track because we'll get right into your draft. Angela, the draft this year. I mean, everyone knew the Arizona Cardinals had the first round pick, and, we all kind of circled around the fact that, if he's not going to play baseball, he's going to go play in the NFL. Well, he forewent the Oakland A's, their offer, and, because he was actually drafted to the A's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was drafted to the A's, and, he just didn't want to play baseball, so he went on over to the NFL. And now here he is playing for the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals picked him up once again, first overall pick in the 2019 NFL Draft. Kyler Murray, we drafted out of Oklahoma, and this guy just needs no introduction. The guy was amazing. He played great in college football playoff. We've been seeing his offensive line just all over the place, just getting drafted all over the place. That offensive line, I didn't even know that they were all seniors or whatnot, so that's a tough hit for the Sooners. But hey, the Sooners always produce talent, and I'm sure there's lots more right behind them. But definitely Kyler Murray. Well, those guys are all one of a kind as well, as we all are. I mean, hey, we're all we are all individuals, of course. We're all God's children, but Kyler Murray, of course, definitely just a big pick here. I mean, he's now the new franchise. My opinion, the new franchise quarterback. The guys that you're going to put your eggs in your basket. You went ahead and traded over or on what happened, but Bruin is no longer with the team. He's with the Miami. You guys traded him, right?
Yeah, that was a mess. He had to go. I hate to say it.
Well, the young quarterback out of UCLA, tough situation, and he's on over to where I think he can do a lot better and excel. And I think sometimes you just need to change scenery, and things happen. So he went on over. It is what it is, and he is now with the Miami Dolphins. So wish him all the best over there. Second round pick, you guys picked up Brian Murphy, one of the highest corners on the draft board. Very good pick. You guys need help in that secondary, and he's a very good pick in my opinion. Byron Murphy, corner out of Washington, a Pac-12 guy. So I know that these guys had a solid year and get a pretty good player there out of Washington. Andy Isabella, I can't even explain to you him and Dabo Sweeney. My gosh, I said Dabo Sweeney. Him and Deebo Samuel were my favorite receivers in the Senior Bowl and in watching Senior Bowl practice. And this guy Andy Isabella, I loved it. I remember seeing during Senior Bowl practice on NFL Network, he actually has this ball with elastic tied to it somehow. I don't know how he does it, but he literally sits there and throws it and catches. Throws one hand, because he does that over and over. He has a video of him doing it, and he's doing it I don't know how many rounds that he does, but they were showing him do that. And this guy's just amazing. This guy's amazing. He is such a good athlete, such a great receiver, small but mighty. I mean, seriously, he's like the Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type of player that's just rough and tough and tiny and ready to rock and roll. He is this guy out of UMass. I mean, I didn't even know him until the Senior Bowl, man. But the Minutemen didn't have a great season. I don't think. Maybe they did. I don't know. UMass. But regardless, this guy came out and plays, and he's playing well. So I'm really excited to see him play for the Cardinals this year. I really, really like that pick. I think if you guys need I think because off those first two picks. But Zach Allen, third round. Zach Allen, defensive end out of Boston College, big boy out of Boston College. Man, that is definitely a tough player. I would say I don't know much about the Eagles from this last year, the Boston College Eagles. But you guys picked up some depth there on the defensive line, or maybe you can be an immediate starter. You can jump in. I mean, I know you guys got Chandler Jones over there now, like I said, and but hey, some upside or could help out with some depth, but. Fourth round, Hakeem Butler, wide receiver out of Iowa State. He was a Cyclone. And, of course, this year, didn't know much about the Cyclones, the Big 12, but Big 12 receiver heading on over to the Cardinals. Deontay Thompson, safety out of Alabama. Well, I think everyone's at least a little something about Alabama and the players that they produce. Definitely a tough, hard-nosed player, I am sure. Didn't know much about him, didn't see him, but I do know that he was a part of a very tough defense. And, you guys were able to pick him up in the fifth round. In the sixth round, Keyshawn Johnson. And, this is Keyshawn Johnson, guys, coming out of Fresno State. Tough player. Okay, I watched some Mountain West football, and they just won a title this past year, or a Mountain West title, that is, and a Mountain West championship. And these guys, I think he's didn't see too much of him, but I do know that, hey. This guy, I'm pretty dang sure, can get it in gear. He might just be a steal in the sixth round. I think he can definitely get out there and make some plays for you guys. Because once again, we don't know. Tom Brady was a sixth round pick, okay? So, also, Lamont looks like Gaylord, I believe, center out of Georgia. We all know the Georgia Bulldogs had a pretty decent year. And another big boy from the SEC right there, Joshua Miles, offensive tackle out of Morgan State. It's a double-A school, I think, so I'm all about the smaller schools. So there we go in the 7th round. And then final pick for you guys. Actually, no, you guys had a couple in the 7th round. You have Michael Dogby, defensive end out of Temple, and then Caleb Wilson, tight end out of UCLA. I don't know much about Michael Dogby out of Temple, but I do know, once again, Pac-12 guy, Caleb Wilson, tight end out of UCLA. I don't know how he fell that far. I thought he was a lot better than a 7th round pick, but my gosh, hey, if you guys picked up the 7th round, I think he can actually make some plays for you guys if you were to get in now or just, sit behind your guys as starters and play. So with that said, go ahead, Angel. The floor is yours. Talk about your draft this year, the guys who think can make an immediate impact, the guys who you think can make some impact in the future, and if you'd like to, go ahead. You don't have to, but give us an overall grade for the Cardinals draft this year.
And so definitely excited. A lot of people are seeing Kyler Murray come out of Oklahoma. Obviously, he was coached under Lincoln Riley, who was the offensive coordinator for ECU for a couple of years. So really understand Lincoln's style of play and really love him as a person. So excited to see Kyler getting some snaps there. Watched a few videos and stuff from training camp. Really excited also to see Byron Murphy. I think especially now with Patrick going to be out for 6 games and some of the veterans we have coming in, I think Byron Murphy is really going to be able to learn under them, groom under them, and I think he's shown a lot of potential during training camp, which is exciting. So I'm really excited to see him. I definitely think he's going to be one of those that we can have, maybe not starting, potentially second string, but I definitely think that preseason is going to be where he's going to stand out and he'll, show up. So the other guys, I think they're really going to add some depth to our team. Not really any guys that I would be jumping for joy for, honestly. But, adding some wide receivers, some, other guys that we picked up. I definitely am really excited to see where our team's going to be. As far as a grade, I think we've cut it. There are some guys that we were aiming for that we weren't able to pick up. Definitely wanted to add more offensive linemen and didn't really grab as many between free agency and the draft that we would have liked. So definitely it would be D minus. Honestly, I think our biggest deal, our biggest pickup would have been obviously Kyler Murray. That's been the talk of everywhere. Now we have a new head coach and Kyler Murray coming in. Our new Cliff has been saying if he ever became an NFL head coach, if he ever had the first round pick, he definitely would have grabbed Kyler. So, obviously all eyes are going to be on the Cardinals this season to see what Kyler can do. I'm more excited about Byron Murphy. I really am. Don't know how long there was talks during this offseason of Patrick, wanting to be traded and things like that. And now with his suspension, it does make Cardinals fans, especially like myself, really suspicious on what's going on. He's been such a great asset and a great asset to the Cardinals defense and to the leadership of our team. But, is he here to stay forever? Is he here to, help the Cardinals, whether we're 3-13 or we're, 13-3? So I think having a guy like Byron Murphy come in and, learn under him and get some direction, it's definitely going to help. And like I said, Byron Murphy's really showing out there in camp, and it's really exciting to see.
Absolutely. Byron Murphy seems like a very tough player, and I think he can really help you guys out in the second. Because you guys still have Budda Baker, right?
Yeah, we still have Budda.
Yeah, so I think this guy was a beast in Washington. He's got an old teammate now joining him, and I you know what, your guys' secondary, because it is what it is. It's been through some changes, but I really feel like it's just the NFL. It happens. So I feel like right now you guys have a very some upgrades. I like that. Once again, Chandler Jones is a freak of nature, monster type of athlete. We all saw him in New England do what he does, and Terrell Suggs, you're bringing together two legendary players. Okay, well, I mean, Chandler Jones, I don't know if I call him legendary, but he's pretty dang good. And then definitely though, legendary Terrell Suggs. Man, this guy is just every bit of a monster you can think of. A very tough player, and I think he's going to really, really help out there in that linebacker core and the leader of that linebacker core. And I'm really excited to see what you guys can do with him. And Byron Jones, there you go. That's the third level right there. A youngster coming in here, a rookie, trying to make a name for himself. And let's see. So overall, Angela, go ahead and just kind of talk about the team real fast. Overall, what are you looking for this season? What are the biggest things that you feel really has to be worked on to make this team get back to where they were just 10 years ago?
Yeah, so a lot of people have asked me this question, and it's one thing where it doesn't matter who we have as a quarterback. I mean, a good quarterback knows, how to scramble, knows how to throw in tight, situations, can find the receivers in stride, etc. But if you don't have that offensive line that can protect, that can give the quarterback time to scramble, it doesn't matter. So I'm definitely, one thing that, I, as a fan, am really going to look forward to, hopefully, preseason last year, I was like, wow, if this is how we're going to play, even with all these random rookies and, pickups, I'm excited. But obviously, we all saw how that happened. We were the number 1 draft pick. I mean, hello. But not where we wanted to be. But I definitely am excited, and I definitely want us to have a stronger O-line. Definitely think that will, with the pickup of J.R. Sweezy as well as some others, that will definitely help us. I'm interested to see Cliff Kingsbury's style of play. I mean, just last year, we had a new head coach. We had a new offensive coordinator. I mean, everyone said, hey, if they can Mike McCoy can have Tim Tebow, playing all these games as a quarterback for Denver, then what can they do for the Cardinals? Obviously, he didn't do a whole lot because he ended up getting fired. So, then we have, it's just going to be interesting. Last year we had a defensive head coach. Now we have an offensive head coach. Want to get DJ, want to get back in the running. More to Leary. I think last year all the targets were at Leary. And we all know Leary's such a great guy that he's going to be in double coverage, triple coverage. He's going to be in positions where he can't always make that catch. It's not that he can't, it's that he's covered. And, we need to be able to spread it out to different receivers. And last year, we didn't do a good job of that. So interesting to see how our wide receivers are going to go this year. Definitely getting the running game back on point, where it was 3 years ago when David Johnson was a rookie. So really excited to see all that. Again, really excited to see the offensive style of Cliff Kingsbury and see what he has to offer.
Absolutely, and that would be awesome. I'd love to see that as well, to see you guys play. So, okay, with that said, let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's have fun. Of course, this segment, you've been hearing it all over this week. You've been hearing it all over the last couple of weeks, and this last week, and of course today. Stick it to them, Angela. You know exactly what this is. You get to talk about the rest of the NFC West and how you think they're going to do this season. And you can give them records. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 3, 2, 1, or however you want to do it. Of course, throw your Cardinals in there. You can give them a final record if you would like as well. If you don't want to, I understand. If you're superstitious, I totally understand that. Some people are superstitious, and I get that. If you don't want to jinx them, I totally get that. So let us know. And with that said, all thoughts, comments, and opinions are their own here at iSports Radio. So, Angela, stick it to them.
Yeah, so definitely going to be, we've always been known as a tough division. Definitely think that it's going to be, another tough year. Past couple years, the Steelers have definitely ran away with it. The Rams have come back from the underground and, started to put their heads in there and join the fight. Definitely this year, I think Seattle's still going to remain on top, honestly. I think it's going to be a toss-up. Personally, I would have it Seattle, as much as I hate them, Seattle, the Rams, Cardinals, and then the 49ers. But who knows? They could all surprise us all. I hate trash talking because I always end up juicing myself later on in life. But yeah, I definitely think that it's going to be a good... it's going to be a good year for all 4 teams in this division. I think it's going to get back to being a fight for all of the teams, and I'm really excited to see where everyone lands and how everyone plays and especially with Kyler Murray, how the Cardinals offense shows up this year.
All right, well, there you go. I love it, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angela Winstead, soft and sweet. I love it. No business, just down to business, and of course talking about her Cardinals. So it's just so great to have you on the show. Great to have you aboard the iSports Radio team. Definitely looking to have you back here for a primetime face-off this year. If you guys play on primetime, we're definitely glad to have you back on, definitely glad to have you back here on air, and I guess so happy to have you in the PR department, and we got lots more coming up there as well. So with that said, Miss Angela, it has been awesome as always. One more time, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Angela Winstead. Gotta show her some love. Angela, thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate you so much, and the plug at the end. Go ahead, let fans know where they can find you.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, at AP Card Princess. It's super simple. Basically sums my life. So catch me on Twitter, especially during Sundays. Always tweeting the games, especially the Cardinals games, the other games as well, with the IE Sports family. It's always a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to this season. So again, on Twitter, it is AP Card Princess.
That's right, y'all. Cardinals fans, Cardinals Nation, B Red, C Red Nation, everybody go follow Miss Angela. She's awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show, and you are awesome as always. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. God bless you and your family, and I hope to have you on the show very soon. And keep doing your thing in the PR department. You are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thanks, Larry.
You are very welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks.
Bye. Alrighty, yes, Angela Winstead. She is awesome. Alright, y'all. Well, we are going to go ahead and take ourselves one more break on the evening, on the afternoon, and when we get back, I'll give you my final weigh-in on the NFC West. You are listening to 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. NFC week, y'all. Second day is about to be in the books, so let's get ready for it, y'all. So, NFC West day right here on 3 and Out. We'll catch you on the other side of this break.
Wrestling fans in the podcast world, you are in the right place to listen to the right show, the premier show in the professional wrestling podcasting world. This is Ring Rambling Radio, and you are listening to one of the co-hosts. I am Martin Sandoval, a.k.a. the SoCal Saint, along with my 2 co-hosts, the lovely Felicia and my boy Matt. Yes, every Saturday or every other Saturday morning, you can listen to us, the premier wrestling team, giving you the premier wrestling news, rumors, updates, event discussions, everything that has to do with professional wrestling. You're in the right place. IE Sports Radio presents Ring Rambling Radio. Don't miss it, because it's just too sweet.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide.
on the BS3 Sports Show.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Podcast. We hope your experience with us is amazing. Sports talk, comedy, social issues, and more. BS3 is the best source. Can you dig it?
Attention, all sports fans! If you're someone who wakes up each morning with a list of sporting events to go along with your to-do list for the day, then you just might be a diehard. The world of sports is as vast as the ocean is deep, including the major leagues, the minor leagues, the colleges, and everything in between. This is me, your boy Larry B of IE Sports Radio, welcoming you to join me every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on The Defining Moment, a show that focuses on what really matters in the sports world, sports themselves, and nothing outside of them. Once again, tune in for The Defining Moment with me, your boy Larry B, every Monday evening at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on IE Sports Radio, right here on Spreaker.com. We'll see you there.
That's right, y'all. Right here on Spreaker.com. I told you I'll be right back. So, with that said, y'all, this is about to be the conclusion of NFC West Day right here on 3 and Out, 8 divisions in 8 days. We are now officially through 2 divisions. We got just 2 more to go. So think about that, y'all. 24 teams down. Just 8 more teams to go. We got the NFC East coming up tomorrow, and we got the NFC South coming up on Thursday. It's going to be awesome. So with that said, let's take a look at the NFC West. So we had $4 today. Booked all of our guests on for today. Mr. Tom, of course, Mr. Matt, Mr. Brian McLaughlin, and Miss Angela Winstead. So once again, big shout out to all of them, Mr. Tom, Mr. Matt, Mr. Brian McLaughlin, and Miss Angela Winstead. It has been awesome having all of you on today's show, and I couldn't appreciate y'all more. So with that said, we are I'm gonna take a look here and give a final weigh-in. So okay, so I will go from last place to first place, and as Angela said, this is gonna be a pretty good year for the division, I think. I think it's going to get back to being competitive, unlike last year, but it's still going to have, of course you got to have your first, second, third, fourth, and it's not going to be a lot closer than it was last year. Not 2 teams at the top and 2 teams at the bottom. It's going to be, of course, that's how it's going to always be, but not like super far. It's not going to be this big old 6-game gap, I don't think. So, okay, so starting things off, I hate to do it because, Angela's awesome, but the Cardinals this year have gotten better still, but I don't know get too much better. They only won 3 games last year. They might win 3 or 4 more this year. I have the Cardinals at a 6-10, 7-9 team. Kyler Murray is his first year. Let's see what he can bring. Byron Jones. Let's see what he can bring. I'm sorry, Murphy. So Byron Jones. Murphy. Let's see what Brian Murphy can bring from Washington. Their new corner over there. Let's see what he can bring. Let's see what this team can bring together. Larry Fitzgerald, of course. The legend, absolute legend. You heard about him today. Brian says all respect with him, of course. Angela knows that he's absolutely just a in my opinion, the future Hall of Famer, but just overall beast, okay, a monster who is just a great athlete and just a great person. So, with that said, I'm going to give them a 6-10 record. But I feel like, you know what, they can get better. They're going to continue to improve. By next season, they keep on picking up key pieces. The Cardinals can be back in business soon. Next up is going to be the Niners. They are good. Jimmy G is absolutely going to shock. He's going to come out this year. They're going to play so well. And I seriously feel like this team is going to compete with the second place team. I think it's going to come down to a nice little dogfight between the second and third team. Of course, I have the Rams winning it, so I'm going to have the Seahawks in second. So I'm going to say the Niners, of course, are going to be in a tussle with these guys in the Seahawks. I think it's going to be 9-7 or 10-6, and that's what it comes down to. The Niners are going to be 9-7 or 10-6, and the Seahawks are going to be 9-7 or 10-6. And I think it's going to be right in that range. So they're going to fight with each other. A healthy Jimmy G, a pretty good Deebo Samuel. Okay, the Seahawks coming out doing what they do. I think that this team is a very tough, good, physical football team. who really have a chance at making the playoffs again. But I think it's going to come down to those two teams in the middle, and they're going to fight for making the playoffs this year. But I do have the Niners at 9-7, and I think that the Seahawks can actually pull off the 10-6 and make that happen. And I think right now that they will do it. As for the Rams, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to win plenty of games. I have this team being a 13-3, 14-2 team. I mean, 12-4 minimum. I think some people, of course, like Matt being modest, 11-5, and if they do, they do. But I think they have the firepower to do it. They have Weddle now. They have Matthews now. This team is too dang good. They went to Super Bowl last year, only held to 3 points, but by who, guys? By who? The team who's been doing it the last 2 decades. You have the greatest coach, in my opinion, ever. Okay, Coach Bill Belichick. Combine him, greatest quarterback ever, in my opinion. Okay, combine those two together, and guess what? You're going to have a great team. They've won 6 Super Bowls together, okay? It's a dynasty. So, yeah, the Rams, you're going to have you're facing a great mastermind team. So, I'm just saying, this is going to be a tough one, guys. It's going to be awesome. I am so freaking excited, okay? I am so excited to watch this team this year play like they've played. I would love to see a all LA Super Bowl, and I know that Super Bowl's coming up one day in LA, and then the new stadium gets built, and I mean, this year would be great too, but I would love to see an all LA Super Bowl in LA. How awesome would that be? Chargers and Rams coming up. Phillip Rivers, I don't know how much longer he has, there, but if he can squeeze out some more years, I think that it would just be awesome to see these guys play and to play in a Super Bowl, because I think both these teams are going to be great. I think the Chargers can definitely make a Super Bowl run. I think the Rams can definitely make a Super Bowl run, and it's just awesome. They're in LA, you know what I mean? The city they demand winners, so it's awesome. So I'm just I don't live there, but I'm about 60 miles away. But still, it's a tough market here. But you know what? It's awesome. So I think right now the Seahawks will be 10-6, and I'm going to give the Rams. I'm honestly going to say 14-2. I don't know how you lose with this team, so I'm going to say 14-2 for the Rams. This is just a tough team, and I think they're going to play great football this year, and I think they're going to win themselves another title, and I think they're on to the Super Bowl, and I think this is their year. I really think they're going to be able to play the Super Bowl this year again. If they win it, well, that's on. We shall see. But with that said, y'all, well, it's been another great episode, but cue the music, because I'm out of here. With that said, once again, big gigantic shout out to all of the guests for today. Once again, Mr. Tom, Mr. Matt, Mr. Ryan McLaughlin, and Miss Angela Winstead. Well, we are now halfway through the NFC week, 6 divisions down, just 2 more to go. For tomorrow, y'all, NFC East Day tomorrow, and NFC South Day on Thursday. Right on into the Hall of Fame game coming up on Thursday, y'all, August. So excited for that. Let's get it! With that said, y'all, all glory to God, as I always say, without him, nothing's possible. Big shout out and thank you to all of our listeners out there. Without y'all, iSports Radio ain't possible. Give me a follow at BTHEE_LB53 on Twitter. Give us a follow on Twitter at iSports Radio, on Instagram at iSports Radio. Give us a follow on Facebook at iSports Radio. If you'd like, give us a follow at check us out at iSportsRadio.com. And that is it. I'll see you tomorrow, y'all. Until then, take care. As always, God bless.